Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, beautiful people, amazing people, powerful people, magnificent people. You, amazing, amazing, ascended being who just loves ascending this consciousness of this whole planet. Welcome. I'm Reverend Valerie Love at your service. They also call me Taisi. And today we dive into can I just give a shout out to everybody for day 159? Whoo! Ooh, day 159. We have been here every day for 159 days, no matter what. Shout out to all of you, all of us. Shout out to all of us. We've been here for 159 days. And even if you haven't been here for 159 days, if you've been here for 1 day, 30 days, 22 days, 58 days, it doesn't really matter. You're here now. Let's begin. Deep breath. Deep breath and call up your willingness. Call up your willingness to ascend the entire planet. Call up your willingness to be the love and the light of Source at all times. Call up your willingness to climb your Mount Everest, climb higher than the lower mind. Grandma was right. Take the high road. Grandma was right. Breathe. Breathe and prepare yourself to go higher. Breathe and remember you are made of light. Breathe and bring yourself home to center. No extremes. Now we called up willingness because willingness is what's required for you to continue on your path, for you to bring into fruition, into manifest reality on this third dimensional plane, all that you are inspired to bring forth. Books, retreats, retreat centers, healing practices, apothecaries, magical practices, practitioners who help people with magic, with spiritual tools, coaching programs, courses, songs, albums of songs, dance choreography, new product line, new products, new NFTs. You are bringing forth all of these in the way you are inspired to, and even more. See your creations come into this third dimensional plane. They already exist in the ethers, the real world. Remember that you are a being of light who can reach up into the ethers and draw down that which is required and desired. You will always do this, and it is not dependent upon anyone else. And because you are showing now your spiritual badassery by waking up every morning, engaging in spiritual practice, reading and applying and practicing throughout the day ACIM, or the principles that are universal principles that work best for you. And you're sharing it with other people. You're loving on people. You're becoming different. You're ascending. Congratulations, you who are so loved by our Mother, Father, God, Creator, Source. And now, remembering who we are and with the willingness to be it and the willingness to meet our own resistance and overcome it, we open our eyes to engage A Course in Miracles, Lesson 159. God morning. God morning, beautiful souls. God morning. Screen share. Good morning, amazing family. Amazing family. All the wives and the husbands and the boo's and the lovers and the children and everybody and grandma and grandpa and everybody. Come on. Shalom, as Michael Jackson used to say. Hey, Michael Jackson, how you loving? Thanks for stopping by. All right, here we are. Lesson 159. Yesterday we remembered about giving and receiving. And there's something in the text that's very important for us to know about giving and receiving, and we'll consider that later. Right now, we are going to go with our lesson for the day and then a portion of the text, which will help us understand more about giving and receiving. I give the miracles I have received. Tell it to yourself, I give the miracles I have received. I give the miracles I have received. I give the miracles I have received. No one can give what he has not received. You can't give what you don't have. And you have it, yet you haven't received it consciously. To give a thing requires first you have it in your own possession. Here, the laws of heaven and the world agree. But here they also separate. The world believes that to possess a thing, it must be kept. The world believes that if you want something, you have to keep it. The world believes that if you want to possess something, you have to keep it. Salvation teaches otherwise. To give is how to recognize you have received. It is the proof that what you have is yours. This is why the saints and the yogis and the mages told us to be generous. This is why it told us to tithe. Why? I used to be an avid tither until I didn't have to be a tither anymore. Tithing for me was a ladder to get to a certain awareness and understanding. Oh, the only way I know I have it is to give it away. It's a tricky one because we believe, well, if I give it, I don't have it anymore. If I give this $10,000, I don't have this $10,000 anymore. If you give $10,000, you have just solidified in your own subconscious mind that obviously you have money because you're giving away $10,000. The laws of heaven state that to keep something, you must give it away. That's why I'm always telling you to give. That's why I'm always giving. And okay, it's time to give to ACIM again. It's time to give the law of time again. We use these tools every morning. We use the tool of A Course in Miracles every morning. And they make the books for free and they translate the books into 90 languages. That's not free. They make it free. They give it away. They give it all away. Knowing that that's how you know you have it is you give it away. You know, I started playing this big game with the universe. Outgive the universe. I haven't won the game yet. Let's give away some more and let's give away some more. I haven't won the game yet. By the way, there's 2 of you that didn't yet receive the money, the Satoshis I gave you for winning the game at the Christian Witches Convention. Go get your Satoshis. 2 of you, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to post it in the Christian Witches Telegram also. Giving is the proof you have it. Giving is the proof that you are rich. Because you know you can't give something you don't have. So it solidifies in your mind you have it. When you go to the website at acim.org, and you press the donate button, what are you telling your subconscious mind? You're telling your subconscious mind, I have money. You're not telling yourself, I can't tithe, Reverend Val, because I don't have anything. I used to tithe and I had nothing. If I got $150, I would give $15. If I got $300, I would give $30. If I got $5,000, I would give $500. I used to be, you probably heard me talk about tithing on this channel, because this channel, the YouTube channel, where I have taught millions of people over 13 years all about magic, money, and metaphysics. It is a great secret of money. You must give away money to have money. I love giving away money. I love giving away Satoshis, because to me, Bitcoin is real money. You must give it away. You understand that you are healed when you give healing. Ooh. While you're still sitting at home, not sharing your gifts, wondering what you should do, being confused about your purpose while people are shooting up the planet, being crazy, running around on all manner of pills, Prozac, Adderall, and the like, and general dysfunction, you're trying to sit home and figure out your purpose. No, 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 no. Get up and heal someone. That's how you know you're healed. You accept forgiveness is accomplished in yourself when you forgive. You accept forgiveness when you give forgiveness. Give for. Forgiveness has nothing to do with anyone else. Forgiveness is all about you washing and cleansing your mind of the dirt and the debris that we collected along the way. It's just a big bath. It's just a big soul bath. Just scrub yourself up with forgiveness. It has nothing to do with other people. I'm going to give myself forgiveness, because we remember from a former course lesson, all that I give to myself. All that I give to myself. There's no one else to give to. You are only giving to yourself, the one self of this whole great universe, consciousness, and you are consciousness. All you give to yourself. You give forgiveness, you receive forgiveness, and then you stop being guilty and you stop sabotaging yourself. Yay! And you let yourself have a beautiful life. You let yourself have a soft, lovely life, if that's the kind of life you want. You let yourself have an adventurous life. You let yourself have a fulfilling life. You recognize your brother as yourself. And thus do you perceive that you are whole. You cannot be whole if you do not recognize the other as yourself. We talk about it every morning. We talk about it every morning. Yesterday morning, we were talking about the honorable honorable Prophet Elijah Muhammad, and that he had a habit of calling Whitey the devil. Well, if you call someone else the devil, then that means you are subscribing to the notion of a devil, which means that a devil lives in your own consciousness, which means on some level you yourself believe on an unconscious level that you are the devil. Now, I don't know what the Honorable Prophet Elijah Muhammad believed. I can tell you that all white people are not the devil. I know that for certainty. You recognize your brother as yourself. Whatever you're calling other people, be willing to put that exact same thing on yourself. Unless you perceive yourself as whole, that is how you achieve wholeness. There is no miracle you cannot give, for all are given you. There is no miracle you cannot give. The miracle, all the miracles, you can give them because they were all given to you. Receive them now by opening the storehouse of your mind where they are laid and giving them away. Open the storehouse of your mind. There's a whole storehouse inside your mind of all the miracles. Open up your mind and give them all away. When I learned that, I just started giving everything away. Just giving away, giving away, giving away. You can't, the more you give, the more you're just like, wow, I'm receiving so much. Here's what the Course says about giving, that is just so shocking. When you give, I'm about to say something that is mind-blowing. Spirit is about to say something through my mouth that is mind-blowing. Write this out. When you give, you instantaneously receive. There's no time between giving and receiving. Let's go deeper. When you give on the third dimension in this human existence, you have to wait. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for the person to open the gift. You ever see those people that tell you, open the gift, open it now, open it now? Why? It's kind of comical, right? Why? Because they are going to take their cues from how you receive the gift and how they're going to feel. I'm going to say this again because this is so mind blowing. When we give a gift on the third dimension, you go, you buy a ring for your boo, your beloved, you put it in a beautiful box. Then that jewelry box is in a bag, gift bag, beautiful gift bag. And you carry it home. You went to some fabulous, maybe you went to the Chanel store, some Pandora or something, you bought this beautiful jewelry, and you're going to give it to your boo. And what are you thinking? I hope she likes it. I hope he likes it. I hope they like it. Okay. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about the look on their face because humans have a faulty belief system, not just one faulty belief, a bunch of faulty beliefs around giving. We think that I give you something. The first problem is I don't have it anymore. So we automatically have in our consciousness that giving entails loss. And if I'm going to experience this loss, you better damn well like it. Now we have an expectation. We gave it to them and we're looking at them. We're smiling, we're looking at them. Open it because we need their reaction in the receiving of it to determine how we're going to feel. They don't like it, we feel like trash. They love it, we feel happy. That's not giving. Not giving from heaven's law. Here is the difference with heaven's giving. Do you see the time? We put time in between giving and receiving. And we put distance, we put space-time between giving and receiving. We give and we think the other person received. And we think that we now have to wait as time for them to open it and tell us how they feel about the gift, and then we'll determine how we feel. Wow. How many years did I do that? It's fucking crazy. How many years did I do that? Okay? No. This is heaven. Heaven is, I give it to you, boom, I receive the joy. How you receive it is inconsequential. What you tell me about it doesn't matter. You could re-gift it and I can see that very same gift on someone else the next day. Lovely. You know, sometimes we're trying to hide that we re-gift because we really don't like the gift, but we know we can't say that we really don't like the gift. All of this breeds contempt, resentment, and lies, deception. We can't tell the person, it's just not my thing. Have you ever told somebody that? They went and bought you an expensive gift, they gave it to you, you received it, you didn't really like it, you didn't need it, you didn't want it. Yeah, but you can't tell them that. Certainly can't tell them that. And now you have to sneak and do something with this gift. Either you have to shove it in the closet. Okay, here's another gift that I don't want, didn't ask for, it's not my thing. And you can never tell them. And if they come one day and you say, oh yeah, go in my closet and get such and such, and their gift topper's out, stuffed in the back. Well, what happened? And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Now you got to lie again. Oh, I forgot I had to bring it to me. Let me put it on now. You hate it, but you're going to wear it just because you want your friend to feel good. You don't want your friend to feel mean. I mean, you're not a despot, right? You don't want your friend to feel all mad. You don't want to just go around busting people's feelings. The whole system is set up inappropriately. We won't say wrong. We were just mistaken. So we can just let those mistakes go. And mistakes only require correction. The correction is this. The Course says, when I give, I only give to myself. Giving and receiving are the same thing. They're instantaneous. There's no time between the giving and the receiving. The giving and the receiving is the exact same thing. And the giving and the receiving are done in the same place. They're not done, the giving is done over here and the receiving is done over there with the person who received the gift. No, 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 no. The giving and receiving both happen at the same time, instantaneously, simultaneously within the person who gave the gift. Bam! You give instantaneous, you receive instantaneous joy from the giving, not from how they received it. Did they like it? Are they using it? Do they want it? Da, da, da. None of that's your concern. If the world operated like this, there would be a lot less gift giving, first of all. Because you would give when you want to. You wouldn't feel obliged to give on Valentine's Day. You wouldn't feel obliged to give on a birthday. You wouldn't feel obliged to give on Christmas. We have a lot of obligatory giving going on. That's one thing that I'm very happy I didn't grow up with. I did not grow up with any of that because the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses didn't have you giving all these obligatory gifts. The only time we gave a gift is if you saw something, really thought it was really good for the person, you thought the person would really love it, and you bought it and gave it to them. Maybe they liked it, maybe they didn't. And they never really promoted all these big expensive gifts, probably because cults like to prey on poorer people. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. I didn't grow up with obligatory giving, which I'm very happy that I didn't, because no matter how dysfunctional, being in a cult was, it has its gifts. Nothing's all the way evil. It has its gifts. So all this obligatory giving, all this giving and thinking that our emotions are connected to how the receiver gives, that's not giving. That's not what the course is talking about when it's talking about giving and receiving. It's talking about heaven law. It's not talking about human law. Christ's vision is a miracle. What is Christ's vision? We discovered Christ's vision yesterday. We went deep into Christ's vision. Christ's vision says that I will not see bodies. Christ's vision says that I look upon all as the light and love of source. I look upon all as spirit. I don't see bodies. I don't do differentiations based on the presentation of the avatar on the third dimension. The avatar being the body, the stunt double. I don't make my decisions on how I'm going to treat people based on what I see before me with my eyes in the third dimension. I'm not going to look at bodies. I'm going to behold the aura, the light beyond the body. I am going to behold the true Christ presence. And I am giving that as a gift because Christ's vision only sees perfection and holiness, wholeness and innocence. It doesn't see that someone has done something wrong. That's how Christ's vision can look upon the murderer. Christ's vision can look upon the rapist. Christ's vision can look upon the thief. Christ's vision can look upon the liar. Christ's vision can look upon a war, as we heard yesterday. Christ's vision can look upon some horrible state of affairs that we would call it horrible on the third dimension. And Christ's vision would only see the light of source. Always, it doesn't change. Christ's vision of seeing only the light does not change based on how horrible the circumstance is. Christ's vision doesn't say, oh, I look upon good with all these nuns. I see their light. But this band of thieves over here, or these hackers over here stealing people's Bitcoin, the NFTs, well, you can't really steal people's Bitcoin because it's unconfiscatable. Stealing people, if you have it rightly secured, right? Stealing people's NFTs, they're not rightly secured. These hackers over here that are stealing things from people, they're bad. No, Christ's vision looks upon hackers who steal millions of dollars or millions of dollars in value the same way it looks upon the nuns, praying for everyone to rise. Christ's vision is a miracle. It comes from far beyond itself, for it reflects eternal love and the rebirth of love which never dies, but has been kept obscure. We did not know the everlasting God, love of Mother, Father, God. It was obscure in our consciousness because we walked about a planet like the prodigal son, looking and seeking and just suffering till we come back home to our Father's house. Christ's vision pictures heaven. All you will see is heaven, for it sees a world so like to heaven that what God created perfect can be mirrored there. It sees heaven everywhere it goes. It doesn't see hell. It doesn't have a concept of hell. It's only seeing heaven. It's only seeing perfection. It's only seeing love. The darkened glass the world presents can show but twisted images in broken parts. The real world pictures heaven's innocence. Can you imagine that beyond the war you're looking at, there is heaven? Beyond human trafficking, there is heaven. Beyond all the people who are sitting in prisons right now, there is heaven. Practice Christ's vision. That is the gift you are giving. And you can only give the gift of Christ's vision if you have received it. Stop seeing sin. Stop seeing what's wrong. Stop seeing problems. Stop seeing fears. Stop seeing angry people. Stop seeing things that don't dislike you. I walk around, I see heaven. It's beautiful. It looks like heaven. This is not escapism. This is seeing beyond. This is not escapism. I'm just going to turn away from the unreal world. No, it's looking at the world and seeing beyond it. You're not afraid to look at the world because you know it's not real. You're looking at an apparition where bodies are attacking bodies. That's not reality. If bodies attacking bodies was the extent of our reality, we are damned indeed. All of us. We might as well not even meditate. We might as well not even do a Course in Miracles. If bodies is the extent of it, we are all toast. Christ's vision is the miracle in which all miracles are born. Christ's vision is the miracle. It's the playing ground. It's the birthplace. It's the womb of miracles. Christ's vision is the womb of miracles. It is their source. Remaining with each miracle you give and yet remaining yours, that you can't give miracles if you don't have Christ's vision. Most people have a skewed idea of miracles because they think God is going to break the laws of this universe to help them out of some sticky situation that a long time ago Spirit already gave us the intuition so that we would not be in that sticky situation, yet we were too afraid to take the action. Can we just tell the truth? Can we just tell ourselves the radical truth that we probably don't really want to hear? The truth is, I didn't take action. I didn't do the things that I was guided and inspired to do. And now I'm in some precarious predicament that is very horrible to me. I don't like it. Well, I got here because my choices and my beliefs, my thoughts and my actions, my attitudes. We have the 9 elements of reality creation that we gave at 222 quantum manifestation. Bring those 9 out and look at them. Those 9 is why you are here right now. Those 9 cover your whole world. Those 9 are the creation process. It's those 9. Pull them out, look at them again. I've lived by those 9, and I check myself when I see something untoward. Where did this come from? Let me look at these 9. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. My expectancy was, I was expecting this. We cannot give miracles, which are expressions of love. Miracles are not God breaking the laws of the universe to do something for you to get you out of a precarious situation. Miracles are expressions of love. Write that down in your journal. If you have an ACIM journal, or put it in the chat, or put it wherever you want to put it so you'll remember. You have to give it away. Let me give it away to the chat. That way I know I can keep it. That way I know I have it. I must give it away. Let me give it away. Let me share this video with someone. Let me give this to someone. Here, go watch this video. Miracles are only given from Christ's vision. The source of miracles is Christ's vision. It is the bond by which the giver and receiver are united in extension here on earth as they are one in heaven. Christ beholds no sin in anyone, including the person that shot up the school. Christ beholds no sin in anyone, including the people that are the pimps. Christ beholds no sin in anyone. Say it to yourself, because this is so radical. Because we are so rooted in these people are good and these people are bad. These people are good and these people are evil. Duality. Tennis match. Flopping like a ball, back and forth, good and evil, right and wrong, good and bad, right and wrong, good and evil, right and wrong, God and the devil, God and the devil, God and the devil, up and down, heaven and hell. Stop it. There's only one. There's one source. It's called consciousness, or we could call it love, or we could call it life, or we could call it God, or we could call it Allah, or we could call it Mother, Father, God, we could call it Spirit, Source, Creator. All the names, they're wonderful. All of them are wonderful. Olodumare, Brahma, all of them are wonderful. Not one of them encapsulates all of who we're talking about. He who cannot be named. One, not two. One. So when Christ looks at everyone, that's how he could heal so many people, because he didn't see what was wrong with them. Oh, good Lord, you have, if Christ was saying, oh, good Lord, you have leprosy, that's really bad. How could he heal them? Because he was already caught in the story that we made up on the third dimension, that there's such a thing as leprosy, when leprosy is not real because your body's not even real. Your body is a great deception. This is a good one. Oh, Source, this is so good. I am so appreciative of this right now. Christ beholds no sin in anyone. Not the murderer, not the gambler, not the shooter, not the rapist, not the molester, not the evil politicians, not the despotic pharmaceutical company. I like to demonize whole corporations. That's what I like to do. That's what my mind likes to do. It doesn't like to demonize people. It likes to demonize whole corporations, not the pharmaceutical companies. No one's evil. Now inside me, I think there's something evil about that. Christ doesn't think that. Christ vision. I'm working on my Christ vision. Christ vision doesn't have any problem with anyone. You could not give people healing if you thought something was wrong with them. Christ beholds no sin in anyone. And in his sight, the sinless are as what? Everyone's holy, everyone's sinless, everyone's consciousness, everyone is whole, all are one. Their holiness was given by his Father and himself. The holiness of every being was given us by Mother, Father, God. It can never change, yet we changed our minds about ourselves. As Ez says of Circles of Light Ministry, you can't change what you are. You can change what you think you are. You can't change what you are. Pure energy, consciousness, infinite intelligence. You can't change that you're energy. You can change what you think you are. Christ, because you can change your mind. You're in charge of your mind. You can think anything you want to think. Christ's vision is the bridge between the worlds. Christ's vision is a bridge between, before me, I see a world of war. I see a world of people, human trafficking. I see before me some diseases and plagues assailing humanity. I see victims. I see a lot of things we need defense from. You need to get all your guns and rocks, and you need to grab your women and children because they're being threatened. And oh my God, oh, so many evils in the world. Oh, wait a minute. Let's add on global warming. Oh, the oceans are boiling. We're all about to die. Oh, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. You can see that. Or you could look upon all with Christ's vision and you could be the bridge. Christ's vision is the bridge between the worlds, between that horrible world that we can pretend is real and heaven, the real world. The real world where all the world of energy, the world of consciousness, the real world. And in its power, can you safely trust to carry you from this world into one made holy by forgiveness? You can let yourself be carried from the mayhem and the destruction and the ills and the sickness and the death, cancel, of the unreal world to the real world, the holy world. And you're sitting right in the same chair. You're still walking about with the same clothes on, and you've been transported in consciousness to the real world. Things which seem quite solid here are merely shadows there. It's not real in the real world. A disease is not real in the real world. A disease can't kill energy. Energy is unkillable. You're unkillable. Energy can never be destroyed. It can be transmuted. It can go here, it can go there, it can move around. It cannot be destroyed. These things that seem so solid here that people are so convinced of, they're just a shadow in the real world, transparent, faintly seen, at times forgot, and never able to obscure the light that shines beyond them. There is a light that shines beyond all the horrors of this world. And when you're in the consciousness of heaven, these other things that happen, these are shadows. Holiness has been restored to vision, and the blind can see. That's the meaning of the song, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. I was blind, but now I see. I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind. I did not have Christ's vision. Holiness is restored to vision. That means you're holy, they're holy, this one's holy, that one's holy, everyone's holy. Holy means whole. We equated holiness to what people were doing. What people do has nothing to do with their true essence of holiness. A holy person doing dastardly things. Yep, you're still holy. There was never a damnation of your soul. There was never a damnation of who you are essentially. These are radical, and they're radically different from what we've been taught and bred to believe. This is the Holy Spirit's single gift, the treasure house to which you can appeal with perfect certainty for all the things that can contribute to your happiness. This is the Holy Spirit's single gift. It's a treasure house to which you can appeal. There is a treasure house in your mind that you can appeal with perfect certainty. It's always going to happen for all the things that can contribute to your happiness. All are laid here already because God's will for me is perfect happiness. The will of God for me, the will of Source for you is your perfect happiness. All can be received, but for the asking. Here, the door is never locked. There's no locks on the doors of heaven, no locks on the eternal treasure house that is your mind, and no one is denied his least request or his most urgent need. There is no sickness not already healed, no lack unsatisfied, no need unmet within this golden treasury of Christ. Then why are so many people in lack of limitation? Why are so many people getting sick? Why are so many people falling to what they think is an eternal death just because the body avatar gave up? It says there's no sickness not already healed. It says there's no lack that's not already unsatisfied. It says there's no need unmet. In the golden treasury of Christ, the golden treasury of Christ is your mind. It's in your mind. You already have it. The doors are never locked. The treasure house is always open. And you can appeal to this treasure house of your mind with perfect certainty that it is already done. For all the things that can contribute to your happiness. All the things, not some of the things, all the things. Don't take the scissors. Don't let your unworthiness and undeservedness and shame and guilt be the scissors that cuts away 99% of the blessings from the treasure trove of Christ's vision in your mind. Wow, I did that a lot. I'm not going to do that anymore. Here does the world remember what was lost when it was made. For here it is repaired, made new again, but in a different light. What was to be the home of sin becomes your mind. The ego wanted to set it up that your mind was the home of sin. What was to be the home of sin becomes the center of redemption and the heart of mercy, where the suffering are healed and welcome. No one will be turned away from this new home where his salvation waits. No one is stranger to him. No one asks for anything of him except the gift of his acceptance of his welcoming. That's all we're doing. We're only claiming what is already ours by divine birthright. Christ's vision is the holy ground on which the lilies of forgiveness set their roots. This is their home. The lilies of forgiveness. You're not holding anyone against anyone, including yourself. First and foremost, yourself. Wash yourself clean. Be holy. Remember, you're holy. This is your home. They can be bought from here back to the world, but they can never grow in its unnourishing and shallow soil. The roots, the lilies of forgiveness, can't grow in the world. Because in the world, there's a sin and there's some kind of retribution. There's a bad deed and then there's some kind of vengeance, revenge. There's a cause and there's an effect. I'm going to do something and then something bad or good is going to happen to me. Well, you can't plant lilies of forgiveness in that soil. Lilies of forgiveness, where this beautiful consciousness that you have, that you are basking in, the holiness of your precious, powerful self. But in order for these lilies to grow, they need the light and warmth and kindly care Christ's charity provides. There is a soil that is conducive to the lilies of forgiveness growing, and that is the treasure trove of Christ in your mind. They need the love with which he looks on them, and they become his messengers who give as they receive. That these lilies wafting through your consciousness becomes this beautiful garden because you've forgiven and you're smelling the wonderful aroma and the nectar. The heady nectar of forgiveness of Christ's vision is perfection, is holiness. Why wouldn't we want to live there all the time? Unless we got distracted by our mind into some lower non-thing. Take from his storehouse, that its treasures may increase. It's like, do y'all remember that scene in Harry Potter where it was the elves were guarding this treasure in the bank, right? Well, they weren't called elves in the book. And in this particular treasure room, when you went into this treasure room and you took anything out, just everything just exponentially multiplied. So you pick up one gold ingot and it's just a bunch more gold ingots would multiply until they were just like almost consumed with all the stuff that just kept multiplying. That's the treasure house of heaven. You pick up one gold ingot, it multiplies and goes around the whole world to everyone's consciousness. You pick up a gold coin, it multiplies. Take from the storehouse that its treasures may increase. Complete reversal of the laws of the world. His lilies do not leave their home when they are carried back into the world. Their roots remain. So you're growing these beautiful lilies in your mind, and you're taking them and you're throwing them all over the earth everywhere you go, because you're seeing everyone is holy, everyone is divine, everyone's God, period. No matter what they do. And you're not being naive. Like, I'm going to go hang out with these murderers because everyone's God. Don't hang out with murderers, because what are they doing? See, what they're doing and who they be, two different things. We're wiser when we walk with Christ's vision. We know where to go and where not to go. Synchronicity guides our path and our step. We're always in the right place at the right time with the right people doing the right thing. We're always safe. We're always out of danger because we've recognized our invulnerability. So as you continue, as you pick the lilies and toss them all over the world with your consciousness, the roots remain and grow more lilies. They do not leave their source, but carry its beneficence with them and turn the world into a garden like the one they came from, and to which they go again with added fragrance. You are spreading this beautiful garden all around the world, and the garden is growing. Now are they twice blessed? The messages they bought from Christ have been delivered and returned to them. You gave and you received at the same time, and they return them gladly unto him. Behold the store of miracles set out for you to give. Behold the store of miracles that you can heal people of every day. All the miracles have been given you. All of them. Not one. God didn't say, well, I'm going to give 50% of the miracles to you, and I'm going to just keep 50% of the miracles for myself. All the miracles have been given to you. Are you not worth the gift which God appointed it be given you? Judge not God's son. Don't judge. Don't judge anyone. Don't judge anyone, especially yourself. If you have judgment to give to someone else, that means you have judgment. That means it's being used on yourself. It's a double-edged sword. Don't judge anybody, but follow in the way he has established. Christ has dreamed the dream of a forgiven world made holy. It is his gift whereby a sweet transition can be made from death to life, from hopelessness to hope. Let us an instant dream with him. His dream awakens us to truth. His vision gives the means for a return to our unlost and everlasting sanctity in God. And we breathe. Let the words envelop you and penetrate through to the core, where they will meet themselves. They already live deep within your mind. Let yourself remember that you're holy and sacred, fully sanctified, needing no savior. You're simply remembering. That's all. That is A Course in Miracles, lesson 159. The floor is open.
That was a powerful lesson, especially as I am going through purging a whole house full of belongings, 40 years worth of belongings, and being a two, being a helper, loving to give gifts, not always giving for the right reason, definitely always waiting for that reaction, and if the reaction is a good reaction, yay. If the reaction is a bad reaction, boo. And my best friend told me that I definitely am the type of person that will measure my worth based upon someone's reaction to the gift that I give. And when I realized that that was absolutely the case, and that I feel like is something that we are kind of taught to do as well. Like, I remember as a child giving my mom whatever it was. It could have been weeds, which I thought were flowers at the time, or pictures that I scribbled together, whatever it was. Oh, my mom would act like it was the greatest gift in the world, and that felt so good to me. So it's like I always am trying to get that particular feeling again. And we don't think of it wrapping up into our self-worth or how much we feel we are worth or valued or worthiness. We don't think that it's wrapped up in it, but in actuality, it really is. So today's lesson was a beautiful lesson, and I was just sitting in awe, and it was very, very timely as always. I'm complete.
I could have saved myself a shit ton of money.
Period. Period. And I'm learning to save myself a shit ton of money. Even I was at the store the other day and I saw these cute sleeping bags that I knew my niece pieces with love. And now what I've been telling myself, when I want to buy gifts like that for no reason at all other than, oh, it makes me happy in the moment, I will leave it at the store. And if the next morning when I wake up, if I still have that burning desire to go get the gift, then I'll go get it. If not, I'll just let it go. And it's been a week and I didn't go back and get the sleeping bags. However, my old self would have just bought the sleeping bags, and it would have been felt so good I would have been thinking about how the girls react to these sleeping bags, and I was thinking about, how the girls would lay in the sleeping bags watching TV. The last time I was there, they had built a fort with chairs and blankets. I'm like, oh, these will be perfect for underneath their fort. I had all these things in my mind that the girls would do with these sleeping bags, but the next day I didn't go back and get them, so I saved myself $40. So for me, it's like, I would always just, if I saw it at the store, I would put it in the cart, and that was that, like, for everything and for everybody. And you are absolutely right. I probably would be a multi-millionaire just if I let a little bit of that impulse giving go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful to check our intention. What is our intention? To feel good? Oh, it's my intention to feel good as I'm giving this gift to someone. How about I just feel good now and save my money? It's not saying never buy gifts again. It's saying examine consciousness. Who else?
Hey, Tyson.
Good morning.
Good morning. Speaking about feeling good and your intentions, that's one of great lessons that I was learning in just the whole law of giving and receiving is how am I feeling when I'm actually doing it? I feel the difference when I feel like I'm spiritually fed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I gotta give to them no matter what the denomination is of the amount, but it's just a feeling good, and it's just that energy is changed of that law of if I give it, that means I have it, and feeling good while doing it. I felt that difference versus doing it where, dang, I need to tithe. I know I have tithing money just sitting here, but I haven't really felt fed, but I feel like I just need to just get it out anyway. And it doesn't really feel good. Like I don't feel that, like, yes, I'm so happy to give. And so now what I'm doing, I'm only solely doing it when I'm feeling good and really eliminating the need to give out of like guilt. Like, oh, I need to do this because it's tithing and it's part of the law and all that stuff, and it's dry and it doesn't feel good. And when I did that, it felt like I was depleting myself. Like it actually felt like I was taking away from myself, versus when I'm giving in joy and happiness, I'm adding, like, I feel this extra secure blanket of prosperity on me when I give like that. And that's all what I really gathered from. I mean, of course, so much more of what you have read, like your body is a great deception and so many more things. That right there, when it comes to like tithing and your intentions and how do you feel when you're actually doing it, was a huge lesson for me that I think that I just wanted to share. So that's all I have for now.
Delicious. You know, the whole tithing thing, that's a real, it's a powerful lesson. If you tithe, you will get your consciousness straight. You will get your consciousness straight because it's so scary. It's very scary. For all those years, it was years that I tithed, it was super scary. And I always thought I was going to run out of money, and I never did. It's super scary. It is an excellent exercise. And this is a time that I must give appreciation to all of our big givers, all the givers who send me Satoshis and send me Cash Apps and send me, and all of the incredible members on the YouTube channel who support the YouTube channel with $4.99 every month. A book's coming to you. I'm almost complete with Spiritual Badassery. That's the name of this book. I thought it was going to be Say Yes. The name came to me yesterday. Spiritual Badassery is the name of this book. And of course, the members get it first. The members get the ebooks first. The members get the books at no charge. I don't like to say free because it's not free, because they are contributing to this channel every single month for $4.99. I love it, love it, love it. So I am giving vast appreciation for all our big givers in this incredible community. Love you and appreciate you.
I have a question. I don't know if it's a question rather than a statement.
Yeah.
I went to a mega church and I loved my pastor. You couldn't tell me nothing about my pastor. However, he made tithing feel horrible, awful. So I guess I have like, even that word, just to hear the word, now it has like such a negative connotation with it because of how I felt when the pastor would talk about tithing. Like, if you did not tithe, like, you might as well put gasoline draws on it. We got banished right to hell. Like, it was the worst feeling. Like, I would be so high all throughout church. Ooh, the choir, we dancing, we clapping. Ooh, the message, yeah, that was for me, pastor talking to me. Then when he gets down to the tithe, and it's like, you are going to hell if you don't tithe, basically. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's just bottom line translation. And so for me, it was always like kind of even like that bushwhacked emotion of that we talk about with happiness coloring on the wall. It's kind of like that was a bushwhacked emotion spiritually, where it made you feel negatively about tithing. So now when I hear the word, I don't even feel good about it. I know there's not a question mark at the end of that, but that was just my reflection.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's a good one, because most people have been beat up. That's why a lot of witches don't like the Bible, because they were beat up with the Bible. That's why a lot of people don't like to read the Bible, because they were beat up with the Bible. People don't like tithing because they were beat up with tithing. These things were used as weapons, and they're not. So what I do when I know that I have something going on in my consciousness that's associated with a particular word, I just change the word. So change it from tithing to giving, or gifting. I love the word gifting. So gifting worked for me. And I did not look at the organization I was tithing to. So when I was in this tithing thing, I tithed not my way out of financial ruin. I tithed, I'm going to say it again. I tithed my way out of financial ruin, along with all the other things that I was doing. Of course, I was doing things to produce income. I was doing things to be a producer, not a consumer. Consumers don't make money. Consumers have to work for producers. Become a producer. Producers make things, and people give them money for the things they make, because the producers are making things that people need and want. So be a producer, and people will always give you money. Every day, people will give you money, because you're giving them something that is of value to them, use value to them in their life. So as a producer, while I was producing, so I don't think that I'm saying, oh, if I just tithe, I'm just going to have money. No, you're not going to have money until you bring value to the world. That's when you'll have unlimited money. From the consciousness of unlimited money, you need both. You need the consciousness of unlimited money, and you need the action steps in this third dimension plane if you want it in the third dimension. Now, if you don't want it in the third dimension, do nothing. Stay on the sofa and watch Netflix. If you want it to show up on the third dimension, you're going to have to do something on the third dimension. That's how the third dimension works. Now, when you're in heaven dimensions, you're already rich, you're already a trillionaire. You don't got to do jack. And on couch surf on the third dimension, live in other people's houses, be under their roof, be a bum. You can do that if you want to. Those options are open to you, and some people are choosing those options. Those were not options I was going to choose. Those options did not honor what God made me to be. So you need both. You need the consciousness married to the steps. You need both. You have one or the other, you do not have manifestation on the third dimension. If you do not have the consciousness of wealth, and then take the steps for wealth, which are the scary ones. That's the part where nobody does. I won't say nobody. The vast majority of people do not take the scary steps. The vast majority of people. They don't do it. Why? Because they're afraid. That's why people come into Ascension. That's why people come into coaching programs. That's why people come to retreats. Why do you think people are coming to registering for your NFT in 2 days? Why do you think people register for your book in 5 days? Why do you think somebody would pay $5,000 drive? Not, you can't drive there. Fly to the other side of the world, come to an event called Your Book in 5 Days in Bali, $5,000, and in that week, you write your book. Why would someone do that when you have all the steps to write a book? You can pull up all the YouTube videos about writing a book. You can look on KDP, Amazon, they have all the tutorials about writing a book. You're in 3 courses about writing a book. You haven't written the book yet. That's where I come in. You haven't done it. Oh, you talked about it, you wrote about it, you put it on your vision board, you were meditating on it, you were praying about it, you got a course about it, you came to all the classes in the course, you read all the videos, you read all the lessons, you watched all the videos in the course, you came and you watched other people do it. You didn't do it. That's when people come to me. You don't act from information. If everyone acted from information, everyone would have everything that they want because we live in the information age. You would have everything you want because you have the information. You have all the information on how to write a book. You have more information now on how to write and publish a book than has ever been available to would-be authors in the existence of humanity. And it is the easiest ever for you to publish a book. You can literally publish a book in 30 minutes. We showed you how in the course, Your Book in 30 Minutes. Information is not stopping you. Information is not what you do. You don't need more information. That's why I'm a transformational coach that gets results. Why? Because I know you don't need information. More information is not going to make you do it. Accountability makes you do it. And nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing freaking else. Why do you pay your phone bill every single month, whether you want to pay it or not? Why do you engage in that energy exchange every single month, whether you want to do it or not? You do it because there's accountability. It's due on the 25th, 29th, it's not paid, it's off. Why do you pay for your home every single month? You don't pay for your home, you got the curb for a pillow. Why do you pay for your car every month? You pay for your car because if you don't, now they have the remote thing. You come out one day and you try to turn your car on, the thing won't start. Accountability is why you're doing it. That's why we tell everyone in Ascension to get an accountability partner. Accountability makes you do it. And there is accountability. There's a soft accountability in community because you can't keep showing up to the community and be the same way that you were before. We're going to start looking at you like, what's going on? Where's the progress? Where's the steps? Where's you going up the ladder? And then you get a more firmer accountability. There's levels of accountability. You get a more firmer accountability when you have an accountability partner and get one that you're not friends with. Get one that kind of you don't like. That's the best accountability partner. Did you do it? Did you not do it? In love, in firmness, did you do it or did you not do it? I said I was going to write 1,000 words a day on this book, Monday through Friday at 12 noon. I was going to take just like an hour or two, and I'm going to write 1,000 words a day for this book. And Friday, I should have 5,000 new words. I don't care if they're crappy words. I don't care if they're wonderful words. I don't care if those words make it into the final book or not. You wrote 1,000 words every single day at 12 noon. On Friday at 2 p.m., your accountability partner asks you one thing. Did you do it or did you not do it? If you did it, yay, you get your reward. If you did not do it, boo, you got your consequence. Accountability partners don't care about your stories, don't care about your, yeah, but the dog and then the cat needed to go to the vet. And then I had you are dog and catting yourself out of your greatness. Yeah, keep taking the cat and the dog to the vet. Keep doing all the mundane things of life so that you don't be great, because after all, you're too freaking afraid to be great. Yeah. Keep being little. Keep doing it. I'm scared of my accountability partner. I know that's right. Post her namaste life. Not showing up is not an option. Hello. You get some accountability partners like that, like my sisters. Whoo, child, that was the only thing. Accountability was the only thing that caused me to complete the book, Confessions of a Christian, which is right here behind me on my bookshelf. Oh, this is spellcrafting. Yeah, get spellcrafting too. Confessions, where are you confessions? Here's confessions. The only thing that got me to complete this book, Confessions of a Christian Witch, because it's so spicy and it's so tart and it has so many scathing moments that I didn't really even want to write about. This is a salacious book. It's salacious. It tells you all the witness stuff, I just poured it out in confessions. I made all my confessions. I'm going to tell you something. If I did not have accountability, you would not be looking at this book in its second edition. The first edition, you saw it was a big book. This is the smaller size. This is 6x9 size. It also has the big size. You would not be looking at this book in its second edition presented to the world without accountability. Accountability gets it done. I promise you, you come to the retreat, your NFT in 2 days, you will have an NFT in 2 days. And why would you not want an NFT when you can turn your book, into an NFT? That's what I'm showing you. How to turn your course into an NFT. And why would you want to do that? Because if I sell this book to someone today, they'll buy it today for, I don't know, $15, $20. I think this one is $19.99. They buy this book today. They read it. It's wonderful. It's amazing. They want to share it. They tell someone else, go buy it. Now, I got paid once for this. Well, what if when they finished reading it, they said, hey, I'll sell it to my friend for $25. And I got 10% of that. I got $2.50. And what if that friend read it and said, oh my goodness, this is so good. And they gave it to another friend for $27. They made money on it and I got 10%, $2.70. Do you see that this becomes a perpetual income stream? I don't see why we don't understand that. Let me tell you something. If someone was teaching me that for a couple of grand, I would run. If someone was going to be in the room, I'm not just teaching it to you, we're doing it. If someone was teaching me to do that for a couple of grand and I'm going to make infinite amount of money on it, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. I'm talking to somebody. Now, a lot of people that are listening to this, I can't do it. What's an NFT? I don't know. Yeah, you're not ready yet. This room is for the big girls, the big boys. This room is for people who have their big girl drawers, big girl panties on, big boy drawers on, or big people bloomers, whatever you wear. Or if you don't wear them, all good. So that was a long answer to something about this whole tithing thing. The reason we don't tithe is because it's the same reason why we're not doing any of the things that would so forward our lives. Tithing will absolutely break you out of lower money issues. It absolutely will. There's no question. We're too afraid.
The video that you sent me about twos.
Uh-oh.
In that video, it said, twos are givers, and they're usually giving from the wrong reason. When twos stop giving when twos stop giving, period, of gifts, he said that they then switch over into the good aspects of a four, where they are producing and creating and doing all of those things. And when you were talking about tithing, that's exactly what that reminded me of. It was like I also switched to being the good giver and not just doing it for what I think I'm going to receive from people, but giving from a place of creation. And that resonates very well with me. So that will be my practice for the rest of 2022 and beyond. I'm grateful. I'm complete.
Yay! Yay! Beautiful. And when you consider it, were you going to say something too, Zaire?
Oh yes, I was want to say about, since we're still on tithing, about how, like you said, it is a really powerful exercise. And actually, one of my ex-girlfriends, you know who I'm talking about, she started to tithe after she had listened to you, and I heard about it from you, and I still was, like, However, when I was with her, like, she was full blown tither. Whenever she got anything, could just be $10, she would give 10%, like, right away. Like, so no matter amount. And so just watching it, I could literally see how it felt like we were taken care of. And so even after the relationship, I continued to do it, and I realized the difference of just how my life was, of always having everything I needed. Like, I just felt safe when I actually do tithe. Like, it was an exercise, even though I'm like, dang, I could use that money for whatever, yet to still give that, like, with the grateful heart, like, feeling good about it. I literally could feel the difference in my life when I'm actively tithing and not tithing. Like, when it comes to me feeling like I'm being taken care of. So it truly is a really powerful exercise. And I guess the way how you look at the word, as we're saying, like tithing or giving. So I just wanted to add that.
Family, if you are afraid of tithing, like I was very afraid of tithing, you want to get the book. This will break you out of it. This is probably one of the best books on tithing and what it really means and what it's really about. You want to get the book called The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwene Gaines. Edwene is spelled E, D as in W, D, E, D, W, E, N, E. E, D as in dog, W as in wag, E, N as in Nancy, E, Gaines, Gaines. Edwene is her first name. She's a unity minister. And I'm going to tell you something about this minister. Look up on YouTube, just search Edwene Gaines at Agape, Agape, Agape Spiritual Center in Florida. I mean, in California. If you look at Edwene Gaines teaches prosperity. She's a prosperity teacher. Edwene Gaines changed her entire life with these 4 principles. I can tell you that one is tithing, and I can tell you that one is forgiveness. I'll let you read the book to get the rest. Edwene Gaines turned her whole life around and went from broke, busted, and disgusted, broke up from her husband, struggling with her daughter, and she broke the whole mold by one day she was sitting in I think it was a Unity church, and she tithed. And next thing you know, everything started to change. Everything changed. The 4 spiritual laws of prosperity, get it and watch her teach it. This is a master teacher on the planet who also teaches others. She used to have she has a ranch out in, I'm not sure what state her ranch is in. She has this big ranch, and she has a retreat center on the land, and she brings people in now to teach teachers of prosperity. Edwene Gaines is probably one of the best prosperity teachers on the planet, and is super funny. Oh my gosh, she's so funny. Because all the people in the audience, when they say, they call for questions after she did her teaching, they call for questions. And people ask her, yeah, but I can't tithe because, she says, get off it. Tithe, get off it. She always says that, and it's so hilarious. Like, get off it. Like, that's a story, just tithe. Then somebody else would ask a question, well, I'm on a limited income. Well, why are you on a limited income? Because you're not tithing. Get off it. Okay, next. Like, she ain't nothing but the truth. Get that book. As a matter of fact, if you would go to valerielove.com/books, that would be so wonderful if you did that. Because if you go to valerielove.com/books, you'll see right here, this is my Amazon recommendations page. And if you use my link to go into the Amazon store, that would be fantastic. And if you look here under money and wealth, you will see right here, let me to make sure that the live stream is tracking along with me. Great. You will see right here, Edwin Gaines, 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. So by all means, do use my link to enter the store. That would be helpful to the whole movement that we have going on here. The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity will take you right into the Amazon store, and boom, there you are. Okay? And then that's supporting the channel. Her voice is so comforting and loving. It is. I love listening to Edwin, is what Who's Her Namaste Life says. So by all means, Edwin Gaines will help you. She will help you. She helped me a ton. And I've got to tell you, I did it. I did the scary thing of doing my tithing on every single dollar that I got. It was one of the exercises that stretched me the most. And you do get a halo around your money. You do have a halo around your money. And once again, I would say that tithing is a ladder, because there's something even above tithing, but you won't be able to get to it until you go through that door. It's the giving muscle, because we're still in, if I give it, I don't have it anymore. Whereas if you give it, that's proof that you have it. We're still in the, if I give it, I don't have it anymore, I can't afford it. We're still in the lack, don't have vibration. Tithing busts you right out of that.
Is the ladder above tithing? Is that a secret? Because I would love to know.
Yeah, there's something above tithing. You won't be able to experience it until you go through. Tithing is one way to go through the gateway. It's not the only way. These things are not absolutes. It's not the only way to go through it. It was a great way. If it came to you, if this message is coming to you, it's a great way to go up the ladder. You must give your way out of it. Because the great law, the great secret of the universe is that when you give it, you have it. You must give, and it must be an uncomfortable level of giving. That's why when we were doing the NFT, I'm in an uncomfortable level of giving, because we're giving away. This is totally counterintuitive, yet my spirit told me to do it. That we're giving you an NFT. You're buying an NFT for $555. Go to soulexcursions.world. We'll put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat, everywhere in the chat. Put it in the chat. And if you text us, you'll just get a class instantaneously about what the whole NFT is about. That you're going to get an NFT, you're going to buy an NFT for $555 or $550, somewhere around there. And then we're going to give you the big NFT, which is going to be $5,500. And with that NFT, that's how you're going to get on all the retreats next year where we go, everywhere we go. That's how you're going to use the same NFT. It's called the Globetrotter NFT, right? You're going to have that Soul Excursions Globetrotter. So right now we have the Soul Excursions VIP NFT. And when you buy the small one, we're going to give you one of the big ones. It's an uncomfortable level of giving. Like, what? Because in my mind, I'm doing the math. Like, every time people come to a retreat, it's like $5,500, $7,500, $8,500. Moving up to 10 grand and up. I wanted to take pricing up. And Spirit is telling me, give it to them. Okay, that means people can come on the retreats with one purchase of an NFT for $550, and they can come with us to Dubai next year. It doesn't apply to Mexico. It starts at Dubai next year. Doesn't apply to Mexico because Mexico already existed before, and the pricing was already set, and we're giving you accommodations in Mexico. It was already set before the NFT was born. You mean for $550, you can go on all the retreats with us? Yep. That's insane. People still haven't gotten it yet, but the ones who haven't gotten it jumped on it. Molly bought it and she was like, I'm so glad I bought it. I'm ready. She's packing her bags right now. She gets it. There's a lot of people that don't get it. So they don't get it. They'll just have to pay more because they don't get it, because it's expensive to wait. It's expensive to procrastinate. It's one of the most expensive things you could do. So this is not a threat. This is just information. Every time I give information, you'll have people that act on the information. You'll have people that are kind of, I'm confused. Well, you better do whatever is required to unconfuse yourself. And other people, because confusion is just another resistance tactic, a delay mechanism. And then other people are like, I don't get it. They're just off in the bushes somewhere, and then they'll get it 10 years from now, after everyone else is rich from crypto. They'll get it 10 years from now, when all the normal people get it. So is this helpful? Zaire, there is something above tithing. There's something above everything. There's something above prayer. And I just kept going up the ladder. Oh yeah, there's something above it. And you got to experience it. In order to go, we can't tell you, that's why the teachers don't tell you what's above it, because you have to experience it. And the only way you're going to experience it is to go through where you are now.
I love that. That felt like a master answer. I accept it.
That is true. It's absolutely true, right? It's absolutely true. Beautiful. Who's next?
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, LaToya. How you loving?
Loving great. Two things. Yesterday's lesson was very powerful because when I went outside, I repeated to myself, nobody's a body, let me see their light. And I had the nicest complimentary day possible. People met me and said, oh, I love your shirt. I'm like, I've worn this shirt like on 3 different occasions and nobody said anything. And it's like, it's not the shirt they're seeing, it's me they're seeing, because I'm seeing them, I'm seeing their light. So it's like, it was a good day, less stressful, more flow, more peace than I've had in a while. So I'll be practicing that one every single time I'm outside, and every single time I'm with anyone, I see their light. So that was a thing.
Lovely.
And the next thing is I have to thank you and Harmony and Kristen, because I did do my book, and I know how you said how important it is to produce. So I did my Living Magically planner, and it's on Amazon, and I'm very proud. And I feel that having the accountability partners, listening to you, Kaisi, which I just started listening last year, October, November, and you inspire a lot of my creativity. So I thank you for that. And Harmony, I thank you for like giving that information, that class, because I did things that I didn't think I would do. I did a book that I didn't think was going to happen. And I can say it was divinely inspired because I didn't think about doing a book or doing a planner. So thank you both. I'm complete.
Everybody celebrate.
Congratulations, LaToya.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. How do you feel about yourself?
I feel proud and at the same time, like shocked. It was a shocker when I put it out there because it's like, okay, I'm done. And it felt like a spiritual transcendence kind of deal. It wasn't, ooh, I'm doing this to get money. It was like, ooh, I do this planner because I haven't seen a planner like this, and I want a planner like this, and I want it for myself, especially as a witch. And I did it, and it didn't come from, oh, I need money, let me write a book. It was more of, a planner. And I did it, and it was done. So it's a definite transition type of feel of coming from, oh, I need money versus, oh, I do this because I can. I'm complete.
That is delicious. Don't create from need, because if you create from need, you're just going to produce more need in your life. And you create it from the inspiration. and expansion. Yeah?
Exactly.
Love it. Can't wait to see what the results of that are going to be like. Love it. There's one other thing I want to add too. If you are not in that course and you're in Ascension, you get that course half price from Harmony. So you want to go to, actually, Harmony, is the book course in there as well? Or is only the 7 passive income streams in Ascension? I have to put the book course in Ascension too.
Yeah, I think that, I know it's not there now, but I definitely would love for it to be.
Okay, I will put the book course in Ascension. We have 2 book courses that we'll put in Ascension and we'll give Ascension members a really good price on it. I'll talk with Harmony about what she's willing to do about her course. That all our incredible teachers who teach in our community, who hold the light and share with our community and teach with our community, I'm so thankful that they make courses and then they are kind and generous to make them available to Ascension members for a wonderful price. If you're not in Ascension, go to ValerieLove.com right now and get an Ascension. Who's next?
Good morning, everyone. This is Dia.
Good morning. How you love it?
Good morning, dear.
First off, I want to start by giving my testimony about tithing. Years ago, a woman, I'll just say, that was in a mentor type position with me, gave me some information, and the way that I took the information led me to do some things differently, I'll say. So as far as tithing goes, I had, up until that point, I had been a faithful tither, but with my limited knowledge. So the information that she gave me, the way that I took it, I decided that, okay, I won't tithe regularly. I will just tithe as I see fit. So I don't know how long it was that I stopped tithing, because I completely stopped after I had that epiphany. But years later, I ended up getting involved in a job fraud, and I had money just completely wiped out of my accounts because of it. And in the midst of it, what came to me is that, first off, when I heard my spirit giving me guidance, I didn't listen, because it said it in a way that I didn't take it as the spirit guiding me. And so I didn't listen. And then when everything blew up, I knew right then that was the spirit guiding me, and I didn't listen. So after that, I made up my mind that no matter what, I would tithe, because the thing that came to me is that I got involved in that because I had stopped my tithing. That was just the revelation that I received from that. And so I got back to giving my tithes, but this was during the time that I was on my first deployment, and the pastor that I was under at that time were bringing in a lot of prosperity ministers to come in and teach. And so I got a lot of good teachings from that. And what I came from that was Pastor Bill Winston would talk about that: get yourself out of the mindset that you're paying your tithe. You're not paying anything. You're giving your tithe. You're giving because it's a choice. And if you choose to do it, do it. If you don't have the revelation of it, then, don't do it. But once you receive the revelation of it, you give out of choice. Be a cheerful giver. So I took that to heart, and I started doing that. And so whenever I received money, I just took it off the top, and I never even considered it as my own anymore. I just decided that, okay, whenever money comes in, I automatically calculate that 10% out. and I never consider it as a part of my money pool for what I have to do with my bills and stuff. So from that time till 2018, when I had to quit my job abruptly, things got better and got me out of that situation that I got in 2012. And it put me in a position in 2018 when I unexpectedly had to leave my job where, like you, I think that was Tania that mentioned earlier that you had that covering of safety. So from 2018 until the 2020 happened, I had already been set in a position where I was able to work independently and receive income from the things that I was doing. And I attributed all of that to me getting down and studying, like Pastor Winston taught me, to study the scriptures for myself and sit and meditate and receive the revelation for myself about tithing, and then do what I saw fit accordingly. And because of that, I have been sustained by the love of God throughout all of this. Like, I never missed a beat. Like you were mentioning before about during the 2020 and 21 events, not doing anything out of your norm. And I was the same way. I never missed a beat because people still needed the work that I was doing. And so I'm thankful that I got in the word and I received the revelation for myself instead of continuing to go off of everybody else's revelation about tithing. And that's what I feel like got me to the point where I am now. And what you were saying about the accountability, I feel like I'm that one that you were saying about just being in the group is a soft accountability. I feel that way because before I came into this group, I was that one that was accumulating all of the information freely, but still not taking the actions. But since I have been in this group, even though our main umbrella of coming together is to study A Course in Miracles, just the fact that I'm in this group and the things that you all are doing that I'm seeing, it's motivating me to take the actions that I had just been sitting here by myself thinking about. And my spiritual grandmother always says that isolation is a dream killer. And I never quite understood what she meant until getting into this group. And I saw how me being by myself, I was killing my own dreams because I wasn't taking the actions. But once I got into this group with that soft accountability, it's making me take actions more this year than I have taken since I quit my job in 2018. And I'm thankful for that. And the last thing I wanted to say, according to today's lesson, the giving and the receiving piece, this is more a question that I have about myself, and I would like to hear what you all have to say about it. So recently, I have been in a situation with some of my younger cousins where they asked me to do something for them. They're brothers, but they asked me separately for different situations for their families, right? Usually, I always do things for anybody free. No, nothing asked, just, okay, whatever. I will just completely disregard doing my independent business to do whatever anybody asks me to do at the drop of a hat. But because of the way things are going nowadays, I realized that I can't afford to do volunteer work anymore. I have to learn how to ask for money. And I feel like I'm a good giver, but I don't know how to receive when it comes to money. when it comes to money. Echoing on somebody. So I feel like, do you all, in hearing that, do you all feel that I have an issue with giving, or is my issue really in the receiving? Because even with the thing you mentioned earlier about the Satoshis, I'm one of those ones, but I realized that I had trouble asking because it was to do with money. Mm-hmm. So I told myself, well, I don't know what to do, so I'll just wait till they give something that says, well, submit something here, that kind of thing. So that's my question that I'm posing about myself. Do you all feel that I have an issue with giving, or is it the receiving piece?
Wow, that is such a good question. It's so amazing that we're talking about this morning, because just yesterday I took a screenshot of the two who didn't accept the 50,000 Satoshis yet. And I'm like, we're giving, I'm like, oh, this is my poor receiver part. Like, someone's giving me something, I earned it, I did the work, and I won't let myself be rewarded. I won't let myself receive the goods. So Dia, we can't tell you if there is a problem with giving or receiving, yet you know if there is a problem with giving and receiving. So which is it for you?
I feel like it's the receiving, because I also won a prize in another competition, and I feel like I put in the work for both of them. But when I won the prize, I was like, oh, I wasn't banking on winning the prize, And this one guy mentioned to me in the other competition that get used to winning. Stop saying that you haven't won in decades. Just get used to winning. So I've been sitting with that, but I realized that there was a delay in receiving both of my prizes. And I knew it was me, and I felt like it was because I have trouble receiving money and asking for money. Because the situation with my cousins, when I finally did get up the courage to let them know that I would require payment rather than just doing that for free, I felt bad about it after they respectfully declined, because I was like, oh, that's family, I shouldn't have. But the thing is, I have bills to pay, and they have secondary income from their spouses. I don't. So I feel like I'm a poor receiver, basically.
Okay. That's a beautiful acknowledgement. I found out the same thing when I was in intensive training with T. Harv Eker, who was one of my mentors, who broke me out of, it took a long time. T. Harv Eker, I was reading his books, going to his events, in his programs, listening to him, like looking straight at the man, listening to him. And he was just chipping away through the crud, because I had so much crud built up about money. And that was one of the things I learned from T. Harv Eker, who was a millionaire mentor of mine for a long time, is I was a poor receiver. He's like, you do the work, but you won't let yourself receive it. You do the work, you win the prize, but you won't let yourself get the goods. Another way of looking at that is you do the work to develop the skills to do the thing that people need you to do. So you still did the work. And when people show up to ask you for the skills, you give them to them for free, but you did something to get those skills. You cannot get from me what I have without paying for it, because I paid for it. Does everybody see what I'm talking about? And you might say, well, Reverend Val, you're on YouTube every day for free. I'm paid for this. I'm paid for this by source every single day in the healing of my consciousness. I'm paid for it whether you're paying for it or not. As a matter of fact, you're not paying for it, even better. I'm getting paid. Oh, trust me, I'm getting paid far more than money every morning. I'm getting paid with energy, insight, ascension. I'm getting paid with the ways to make more money. I'm getting paid with a new consciousness every single morning. The YouTube videos None of the ACIM YouTube videos are monetized. None of them. I refuse to put a commercial in front of a healing protocol, or we're going into a deep breath and a prayer, a deep breath and a meditation, and you hear, yeah, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. It's so jarring to your consciousness. None of the ACIM vids have ads. Yet the YouTube channel makes money every month. How? Because the members pay more than send more than ad money. Trust me. Ad money, you're not going to get a huge amount of money from ads. You're just not. So if you have some kind of member supported experience, like all the beautiful members on the YouTube channel that are always growing, that we give all the gifts of the books. If you become a member today, you get the books today. They're right there in the members portal for you. $4.99 a month. No big deal. So Spirit will show you all the ways that you receive pay. And maybe you didn't even ask for specific pay for it. You're not charged anymore. I promise you, if we charge for this every morning, there would be far less people here because we don't even think we're worth paying for it. There are people right now who are enrolled in Ascension who have a problem, who have challenges. I won't say a problem, challenges with $99 a month. That's a good thing. Why? Because it makes you stretch your muscles. It makes you say $5 a day. I'm going to put $5 a day away for my Ascension. If you're in that place. Now, if you're not in that place, it's easy for you. There's a lot of people in our community, it's easy for them. They just register for things. They pay for the whole thing. They never need a payment plan. They just roll with it. It's beautiful. We have all kinds of people in our community, all kinds. And I'm very, very, very empathetic to people who have money issues because I was there for years. I understand that pain, trust me. I understand. I understand that pain more intimately than I even want to. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about because I don't know, cancel. I recognized that I was a poor receiver, and now I have been practicing what I'm calling in my mind the big ask. And I did that just the other day. I'm selling my home and I want to sell the home. My husband does not. So he agreed to it, but you can tell he's not emotionally on board. So I've been going about like I'm selling my home. I got dumpsters. I had like a cleaning crew come in. I'm doing all these things. And so I was footing the bill. And yesterday or the day before yesterday, I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a big ask and just let him know, hey, this is what I've paid for things thus far. Basically, I worded it in a way where I wasn't asking. Well, in my mind, I was going to ask for a specific amount that was way lower than what I wanted. So I said, you know what? I am just going to put this together in a way that I'm letting him decide what he would like to contribute, which was still huge for me because I would have never, I ain't asking nobody for nothing. I'm independent, I'm that type of person. So I realized that has been hurting me all of my life. And a lot of times I just let what was owed to me or due to me or should have been mine, I just kind of left it sitting on the table. So when I made the ask, I said, okay, well, I paid the cleaning crew $200 and I paid $508 for the dumpster. I said, so whatever you can contribute would be appreciated. He paid the whole $508 for the dumpster, and I was in my mind hoping for $250.
Come through, brother.
Sometimes we cut ourselves off just because we don't ask. So for me, I know that was my biggest thing. Not only not asking, but when somebody offered money, I would say no, thank you. But even if it was for services that I provided, when they would try to then bless me with that energy exchange, I would turn it away. So yeah, I definitely am trying to turn around that, oh, I'm not a good receiver, and be just as good of a receiver as I am a giver. So for me, yeah, it definitely was wrapped. I have no issues with giving. It definitely was wrapped up in the receiving. I'm complete.
My man, can we give it up for our brother who said, I got you, boo, and paid the $508? Come on now.
Yes.
Hello, give it up for our brothers. I mean, that was a beautiful way to say it, Harmony. You said it like a goddess. Well, God, because you're a goddess and everyone's god or goddesses, right? Or divine beings. If you're neither a god or a goddess, you're a divine being. Well, divine being, this is the goddess. Here's what this costs and here's what that costs. And the god stepped up to the plate and said, I'll take this. I'll take the big one. Bam! Okay. Maybe you would have asked for $100. Maybe you would have asked for half. Half would have been fair. He did more than half. Here's another piece of the puzzle for the money. People who are in lack don't give money because they don't think they have it. So then they keep telling the universe that they don't have it. Therefore, they keep not having it. People who don't give money. So when we tell you to give, we're not telling you to give for me or for anyone else. I'm taken care of by source. You're giving for you. You're giving for you. You're giving to prove to yourself that there is an infinite well of good, money, happiness, love, all of it within you. You're giving for you. No one needs your giving more than you. Who's next?
Good morning.
Good morning, amazing being.
Thank you. I have so for me, tithing has always felt automatic because I grew up in a church since I was before kindergarten. And the way I would look at tithing was not because I was obligated or anything, even though it was automatic, like every day, every week I would be given $1 when I was a kid to tithe. I saw it as I got older as supporting the church I went to that gave me the word of God, because everybody in the ministry, they were avocational, which means this is not their profession. So they needed funds to not support their lifestyle, but just to keep the lights on, fix the leaky roof. And that's just my opinion on tithing. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a little girl, one time I said, hey, what if I don't tithe? Think of how much money I'll save. And then my aunt found out, and she told my mom, and she told me, no, ever hold money back from giving to God. And it made me realize that I shouldn't be selfish, that I shouldn't hold on to my money like a greedy person. And for anybody out there who's not in church, I think another alternative to tithing would be donating to a charity you like. I am complete.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
This is our church, though. I mean, for me, I don't know how it feels for you. So when I think about, okay, after I listen to this book and I'm going to get this new feeling about tithing, because I did download it in my Audible. I'm listening to it today. When people ask me, do I go to church? This is my church, showing up here every morning, ACIM. So for me, it's like, when they say give to where you are spiritually fed, I don't know, people are giving to Reverend Valerie Love in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't know what to say, because this is where I am spiritually fed. So even though I'm not going to a physical church, I feel like this is my church. This is where I come and show up every day and get fed. And my life has changed so much. What day are we? 159? My life has changed more in the 159 days of being here every morning than it has the years that I sat up in church, the years that I was there every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Saturday for the outreach ministry, everything I was, years. This has done more for me spiritually than sitting in those four walls could. Now, I'm not saying that that's not what someone else may need, but for me, this has been more rewarding. I'm complete.
This is Dia. I want to add to that. For me, when I started studying Catherine Ponder, she opened up my mind to the fact that I didn't have to just give my tithe to my church that I was connected to. And that blew my mind. I started experimenting with that. She said that you can give to any spiritual organization or a person in spiritual work from which you're receiving help and inspiration. So I started doing that, and things have just really opened up to me. I still give to my regular church, but I give to all the other places where I feel like I'm getting my help, my inspiration on a day-to-day basis. So that just, it made me more of a cheerful giver to do like that rather than just give out of obligatory giving to my home church. And now I feel like I can just give anywhere and it's still giving my tithe. I'm complete.
Beautiful. Who's next? Is that a lineup?
Oh, peace and love, everyone.
I love it.
Peace and love. All right, I just want to ask some questions about the tithing because giving has been on my heart, like to give more. I was also taught, I think this is a compliment to, keep going back to your old video, and I shared that in my room the other day with some ladies about the ultimate money answer.
Yes.
And I think giving is a perfect compliment to that too, where it talks about, love yourself, love what you do, love how you feel when you're doing it, love how you do it, love who you're doing it with, and love who you're becoming as you're doing it, and who you are becoming as you're doing it. And so, but I was a little confused a little bit on the tithing because, coming from ministry, I feel some of that biblical stuff, some of the biblical principles is a little off on the tithing. That's what I believe in my heart. And so I'm asking the question because I remember going through the prosperity book with you guys. I did it on my own too, but I remember going through that.
Yeah.
I think that was last year.
Yep.
And you gave every day. And it tells you to give all the time. And that should just be a practice of giving. So is it the 10% or the 20% all the time, or it's just giving as you see fit to give? And does it have to be a spiritual ministry to give to? Those are my things, because I don't really quite that set in stone 10% or that set in stone, because it was the Levitical covenant that we was really given to the priest, and I just think that's a little bit off to me. That's just me. And so, but I do believe that something is missing in my giving. So I give a lot, but I think I need to give more systematically. And so that's my question on that.
It's an excellent question. And this is family. I brought up on screen the books that our family on Clubhouse were talking about. So we brought up Catherine Ponder, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. If you look at my Catherine Ponder book, it is so dog-eared, underlined, highlighted. I said the exact words. Catherine Ponder is nothing but the truth. Then you'll also have on screen now the Abundance book by John Randolph Price. And that book changed. Every so often I go back through the 40 again. We just roll back through the 40 days again, like a reset. And that we did last year. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again because the 40 days, we need the 40 days. Here is what tithing is about energetically. Now we understand the roots of tithing. So let's talk about where did it come from? Where it came from was that there were 12 tribes of Israel. I'm not saying this is where it came from. I'm saying this is what we told was where it came from. It was older than this. This is what we were told. Tithing is far older than Israel. But because we're dealing with a Hebrew Bible, the first half of the Bible is the Hebrew Bible, the second half of the Bible is Greek and Aramaic. So let's talk about it because, I love the Bible. What we were told, where tithing came from, was that there were 12 tribes of Israel. One was the Levitical priesthood, the Levites. The Levites were not supposed to work. The Levites were the priests. And the Levites' job was to see to the spiritual needs of the people. That's my job, to tend to the spiritual needs of the people of planet Earth. That's what all the gurus, the yogis, the sages, the saints, all of us did the same thing. To help humanity with their spiritual nature and their spiritual needs and fulfilling their spiritual needs by turning within. Go drink from the well inside yourself and fill yourself up spiritually, and everything else will be taken care of. That's the only message. Now, because the Levites had a big job, their job was every day they had to do all the sacrifices for the people. They worked at the temple. They didn't have jobs like me. I haven't had a job since I don't know when. I'm officially unemployable. I work for God, goddess. I work for the goddess. So because they didn't have jobs, they also did not have land. They did not receive an inheritance. So they didn't have land because they weren't supposed to be growing apples. They were supposed to be helping you pray. The tabernacle before they built the temple. This is the story they gave us. Come to the tabernacle. Come to Forbidden Knowledge Christians. You've been lied to on the YouTube channel, on the Christian Witches YouTube channel, on the Valerie Love Kaisi YouTube channel. And if you go to the Christian Witches YouTube channel, watch them all, Witchy Wednesday. We're having one this afternoon because it's so shocking about Moses and Akhenaten. So we were told that the Levites couldn't do anything. They weren't supposed to be concerned with making money. They were supposed to be concerned with helping people, regardless of if you could pay or not. So because their main thing was helping people spiritually, the law was everyone bring a tenth of everything you have and leave it at the temple. So if you pick 10 apples, you and your family keep 9 apples, take 1 apple to the priest. If you have 10, let's say, bags of figs that you picked from the fig tree, 9 figs, you can have some for your family, take the 9 figs, sell them at the market. 1 bag of figs, take and put it at the temple. If you bake 10 loaves of bread, 9 loaves of bread you keep for your family, sell it to other people, barter with other people. Take 1 loaf of bread to the tabernacle, give it to the priest. That made sense. It's a brilliant idea. Then the priests always are taken care of. They did not have an inheritance. You got to remember, in these times, your inheritance and your land, that was so important and so important. It's not how it is now, as it was back in the day. If you didn't have an inheritance, where were your children going to grow the food and how were you going to prosper? You needed land. You needed land and gold. Well, they didn't have land. So how were their inheritance going to be taken care of? How were their children going to be taken care of? Their wives, their family, whatever. They had to have the whole community take care of them. And that's what people did. They bought a tenth of everything. They didn't ask questions about that. It made sense. I don't know, maybe some didn't want to give it, I'm sure. I don't know. And somehow they came and gave it. Later on, and then we got the scripture in Malachi that says, test me now. This is the only scripture in the Bible, according to the way we got the story, is that God actually says, test me, test me, test it. Test that if you give me 10% of everything you have, test and see that the store gates of the floodgates of heaven will be open to you and pour it out upon you a blessing until there is no more want. Prove it. It's a dare. Because it's so freaking scary for us humans, so deep in lack and limitation, to give 10% of everything we got. So I would be so scared. Literally, my hands would be shaking right in the check. I get a $1,500 check and I got $1,600 worth of bills, and I'm giving a $150 check to Joel Osteen or T. Jakes or whatever, whoever fed my spirit. So freaking scary. I get a $2,000 payment, my bills are $5,000. That's where I was in my consciousness, lack of limitation. I don't live there anymore. Everything is paid. Everything is paid off. Everything is paid in my house. Easy. Everything is paid in my life. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I promise you. I broke out of all of it. Spirit broke me out. Now, this lack of limitation thing is so deep. It's so entrenched that there are certain radical things you must do to take yourself out of it. And if you don't have money, you need to be tithing every single penny you get. You need to be tithing. Why? Not because of the people that are going to get it. Not because you think you're supposed to do it because of what people were doing 2,000 years ago. Not because the Bible says it, because it's a radical, fear-smashing spiritual exercise. It's a fear-smashing exercise. You tithe, wow. I didn't lose everything. I got $8,000. I gave $800. I didn't lose everything. Many of y'all know that I was married to a man who had won $17 million in the lottery. So I promise you, in my life, I've been rich and I've been not rich, and rich is definitely better. It's just better. Well, he used to get a check for $565,000 every single April. And this was net because his check was $865,000 a year. And this is not divulging any secret information because it was very public when he won the lottery, and anybody can take $17 million and divide it by 20 and see how much you're going to get every year. This is not private information. This is in court documents. This is in a magazine. He was in Jet magazine when he won. This is information that's everywhere. I'm not divulging any, because I wouldn't do that. I would not divulge people's private financial situation. This is public knowledge. As a matter of fact, his court case with his first wife is in the law books as a precedent case, which I did not know. So people actually study his lawsuit, his case with the divorce case from his law students actually study that case. It's in the record books because all of this is public, because when you go to court in America, everything's public, just like Johnny Depp and all of that. So anyway, this man, when he got that $17 million, I promise you, probably all of us on this live stream would not have done what this man did. Probably all of us, because I probably wouldn't have done it, not in the state of consciousness I was in. Every year when he got that $565,000, it was $865,000, $300,000 was taken for tax in the United States, right? About a third was withdrawn, withheld. That's the word I want to use, withholding. $300,000 withholding from $865,000. So the check was $565,000 a year. Imagine every year in April, you get a check for $565,000. Your taxes are already paid. Of course, you're going to do things so that you can get some of that $300,000 back, right? Because it was withholding, and then they square up at the end of the year with the tax authorities to see if you are requiring some of that money back, or if maybe you need to pay more. Who knows? Anyway. $565,000. And what was the first thing I saw him do? Write a check to the church for over $50,000 off the break. Off the freaking break. And you might say, well, of course he could do that. He has $17 million. Please don't be little in your thinking. Oh, that's such a little thought. Please don't be little in your thinking. How the fuck do you think he got the $17 million? Because the universe knew that he was a giving person. He was giving things to people before he got the $17 million. How he got $17 million? And money does not change you according to what little people think. Or little minds. There's no little people. There's only people that use the little part of their mind, not the God part of their mind. Money doesn't change you. I was a financial advisor for 7 years at American Express. I looked at thousands of money situations. Money doesn't change you. Money magnifies what you really are. Oprah said the same thing. Oh, money changed them. That's what poor ass people say. Oh, y'all done got me started up early in the morning. That's what poor ass people say. Because they don't know any better, because they never had money. They don't know any better. They never had money. Money doesn't change you. Money is a magnifier. Money doesn't have the power to change you. Poor people just give money way too much energy and intention and power. Poor people are always talking about money because money is the major thing in their life because they don't have it. So they give it this super importance. I did all this. Tithing has nothing to do with Levites. Tithing has nothing to do with the Bible. Tithing has nothing to do with the church. Tithing has nothing to do with you have to do it. Tithing is a radical spiritual exercise, just like getting up every morning and being on A Course in Miracles for 365 damn days straight is a radical spiritual exercise so you can get radical results in your life. I don't care. When I give money, they could take it and burn it in a bonfire. I wouldn't care. I got my win. Giving is the gift. It's exactly what the lesson said today. Give and receive. Giving is instantaneous. You instantaneously have to give. Giving and receiving are one. Did we hear the course lesson today, yesterday, the day before? Listen to the course lessons for those 3 days. Go back and listen to giving and receiving are one. Because you received as soon as you gave. There's no space and no time between giving and receiving. Is this helpful, Alina? I'm so happy you asked that question because it just elicited what for so much that we need to know because we need to break this money yoke, and I'm good at doing that. That's what's good.
That was thank you so much, Kaisi. That was very, very helpful because you said it ain't even you just set me free. You was like, it ain't even about the Bible. It ain't even about nothing. This is a radical spiritual energy exchange. That is just so it just took a whole lot of stuff away from me when you said that.
Thank you, God.
And so and now I gather from what you're saying, too, that we should be doing both. Like they were doing, like Catherine Ponder talks about tithing and the way John Randolph talked about giving too. So we should be doing both. Just always giving, basically. So thank you for that.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many cool things to give. Not only we can give to you, we can give to ACIM. There's so many layers to all the spiritual stuff we're getting right now anyway. So there's plenty of organizations to give that's just around this course all together anyway. So definitely thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. It just brought a whole nother light to the situation.
Yes. I love it. And I love because we're freeing ourselves together. We're freeing ourselves from all lack and limitation, from I don't have the money for this, to I wouldn't be doing this if I had this money. I wouldn't be doing that if I wouldn't have to do this if I didn't have money, thinking that money is so powerful that it can make us slaves. No, none of that is so. It's just not so. We believed it. It's just not so. Love. What's the ultimate money secret? Alina laid it out.
Yeah, I love that. I go back to that often. And lately it's just been really coming to me more and more. And it was something because the young lady, I told her about us doing this in the mornings, but the young lady, what happened to her? Oh, she said that Spirit was leading her to move to Costa Rica and to leave her job. And she said to Spirit, she's a young lady, how am I going to live? And the Spirit said love. And so the stage, and she told me that. And then I posted your video, and I went over the 7 things. She said, "Oh, thank you so much." She said, "Because I was thinking, I don't want a relationship right now." She didn't understand love, and she understood it after I went over what your ultimate money answer was. But I like the way you asked that question. When you asked Spirit, you said, "Is there any way that anybody in the world, not just America, in the world, no matter what they're doing,
No matter what,
from a dig ditcher all the way down to anybody, they could be in the lowest of the lowest to anywhere. What can they do?" And you said it sounded like a whole choir, and they just said love.
love,
And you said you would just sit there waiting to write, and you was like, "Come on now, love."
love.
And then they explained to you those 7 steps. I always remember that video. That video set me free. And so I'm just going to bring this into the tithing and the giving. So it'll be systematic. Me tithing and me doing what I love and me just giving. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank God. Woo! We getting set free up in here, Alana. Thank you for asking that question, and thank you for bringing that resource and looking up on my YouTube channel, The Ultimate Money Answer. We have it. We have the Ultimate Money Answer, and it works. I work it every day. It works. But most of us are so busy looking at what we don't have that we don't think we can give to other people. That's what I swam around in that for decades. I would give it to them if I had it. Well, what do you have and what can you give? And we don't give because we think giving is depletion. We think when we give it, we don't have it anymore. Those are all the laws of the world with regard to giving. They're not heaven's laws. Our great mother, Karima, Jamila, how you loving great mother? Can you speak, great mother? Can you unmute and speak? I see you on stage. Then we're going to go to Rainbow. Okay, if great mother can't speak now, come on, Rainbow, talk to us.
Kimra Hafi, loving what you're saying. And everybody that's stuck in this laws of attraction, change your view and you'll see the entirety of what's being shared with you. It's all well and good, giving a tithe. But for me, it's clear as day, it's about investing in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself, you're getting a lot of gold in these rooms. It's amazingly amazing every time I come through, but she sent me a legal document saying I can't come in more than twice a week, basically. But ultimately, what you're getting, you aren't going to gain until you invest back in, you see.
Yeah.
And when you begin to invest in yourself, you're no longer sitting on your own self-pontificating shelf. Then your soul gets into the flow. And that's when the attraction comes in, you see. About like what Harmony was saying. Perfectly perfect, obviously. She invested in herself. She believed in her soul. So she started to get the house cleaned up in just the right way. And even though she had a bit of fear, a wee bit of nervousness inside her, she put it to her man, here's the bill. And not only didn't he just pay half, he paid the whole thing, you see. And that would have made her as happy as can be. Understanding he was right there behind her in the first place, you see. So it's about investing in yourself. Otherwise, you'll never, ever get off that self-pontificating shelf. And namaste.
Delicious. That's exactly what I did, Rainbow, because anyone that was teaching this or teaching something that I wanted to know, whatever they charged, I just paid it and went and learned and got the goods. If it was a book, I bought the book. I viewed all of that as investing in what I am here to be and to do and to have. I love it. You're here for epic things, family. You're here for epic things. Yes, so that got how you love it. Jamila, you good? You hear, great mother?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How you love it?
I had to restart the app. I apologize.
Oh, good.
Well, I wanted to give a quick comment. Listen, I know you don't like that word, the B word, broke, but I would be completely broke if I had to give between my religious organization and you, Mother Caisio, please. My money would be darn near gone, which would be a blessing because I love to give. I love giving, and you know what, being around. I've known you for some time, and you taught me from your wonderful studies that it's really, that mindset of not having. Even I've watched people who literally, from our eyes, these physical eyes, well, it seem like, wow, they really don't have much, they seem so misfortunate, but I've seen people like that give a last, and they just happy every day. But yet it's a beautiful concept of tithing. It's beautiful. And the reason, one of the big reasons why I absolutely do it, and regardless to the digit amount in my account, is because it's just me. I have a firm belief that those blessings do trickle down over to future generations, whether they're blood related or not. Anyone who's been associated with, the family, anybody you come across, like this wonderful room. Sometimes those blessings just seem to spread to, anyone and everybody that, we as human beings come across. I don't know, maybe that's a crazy thing to think, but I believe when I tithe, that anyone that I meet, whether it's a stranger or someone I know or someone in my family, that somehow whatever blessings God or the universe has for me for doing so, it rubs off.
Yes, it does.
It rubs off. I don't know if it's not scientifically facts or spiritually facts, but I truly believe that. And that's why I give so happily, and regardless to what the number says in my account. But I again want to thank everybody in this room, especially you, Mother Kaisi. God has truly blessed me to be able to say I get to see Mother Kaisi every morning and these beautiful teachers, no matter what it is that you have cooked up for the month. So thank you. And thank you, beautiful Harmony. I see my cousin. I am beginning to really love this gentleman here, Rainbow Room. So I'm very blessed every morning. Very blessed for everybody that I get to hear. I am. And I am done or complete. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
You can't say the wrong thing.
So can I just squeeze in? It just triggered me in terms of what you just said. I wouldn't be here today on my soul if it wasn't for all the souls that tithed blood donations, you see, because I had to get a full blood transplant basically to save me. So there's many different ways in giving, and what you're saying is amazingly amazing. So thanks for the reminder, and love you too.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that someone else actually knows of this. Of course they do, because nothing is ever new under the sun. But thank you, Rainbow.
Great mother. I call her great mother because she is a phenomenal mother of 7 children and fur babies too, that she calls them fur babies. What is the Islamic, we've been listening to the Christian take on tithing. What is the Islamic giving protocol?
Well, it's basically not too much different from a true Christian. And we give for what I expressed, for you to be blessed. And, because it's just a universal law.
Yes, it is.
And of course, my opinion of the Nation of Islam, of which is the religious organization I tie to,
I don't feel like I'm giving to that organization because they never, ever, ever, ever make it ever about them. It ain't come give to the mosque, come give to Farrakhan, come give to minister. So no. Because every time, and they show receipts, every time whoever, you don't even have to be a member of Nation Islam because so many people give. And the reason being is because they literally take those beautiful donations and give back to the absolute communities. They have paid off people's bills during the pandemic. When people lost their jobs, they sent food care packages, health care packages, doctors to their door. So it's giving to the community. And also to keep up the beautiful home of these mosques or masjids across even to the Eastern world, because those are our brothers and sisters, also all Muslims all over the world. We are still a community, we stay in communication with them. We help internationally, and our goal is to feed the spirit and to keep, of course, basic needs. So when I give, I'm in the knowledge of knowing that it's not just going to and for that organization to just run to keep lights on. And yeah, they do that. They're blessed with that. But they never, one thing is that the minister, Louis Farrakhan, has never asked for money for himself. He's never asked. It is only asked that we give to help one another. Because I'm telling you, as soon as we all give these donations, they always have these gifts of knowledge, and we go into the communities. If we have lack of resources to go into the communities with, they furnish it to us. So everything that you have mentioned, Mother Kaisi, is also what we're taught. Anything in a church, they really teach, like you say, the real aspects of tithing is the same. It's nothing different. It's just what they do with the money. They literally give to multiple communities, no matter what the race, the sexual orientation, the issues. It doesn't matter. This spiritual community is consistently a giving community, and in turn, we are blessed with the peace. Because all we really want is true happiness, which is only what God can give, but real eternal peace. As we know, no physical things can grant us that.
That's right.
So, I'm not eloquently really saying how it goes, but this is just to my capability and knowledge. And I hope that I shed some light on that from what you asked, Mother Kaisi. I am complete.
Eloquent indeed. Eloquent indeed. You're bringing in another aspect of the giving, that on the other side of our giving, something wonderful is happening. That if you give, let's say, to this church or that church, they're going to then give food to people. One of the biggest places that I loved giving to was Joel Osteen Ministries, because Joel Osteen got me out of so many dark spots in my life. It wasn't funny. I would just be in the dark spot. And I knew if I picked up a Joel Osteen book and read 10 pages, back again, I knew it was a spiritual tool that was so certain that if I picked up a Joel Osteen book and read 10 pages, I was going to be back right again. So it never wavered. So I had just so many Joel Osteen books in my collection. Joel Osteen never asked for money. Never did. People are giving Joel Osteen Ministries millions of dollars. He never asked. If you watch Joel Osteen is very metaphysical, because his father was super metaphysical. He's very metaphysical. Joel Osteen doesn't talk about a whole lot of hell and damnation, you going to hell and all that. Joel Osteen is inspiring you. Joel Osteen is getting your mind right. Joel Osteen is telling you how to act in the world. He's telling you a funny story. And Joel Osteen is, for me, just pure inspiration. He never asked for money. How is it that they went and interviewed this man and his wife and his family? They interviewed this man. He lives in a freaking mansion, well served, fabulous, everything, well deserved, and he never asked for money. And he doesn't even get paid from the church. Where did all that money come from? Joel Osteen, beside the fact that everybody's just giving money to the church and he's not using it. He's not using the money. They got a bigger place. Then they take care of this people. They're taking care of these people. They're taking care of these people. Joel Osteen didn't take the church money and buy himself a huge mansion. No. Joel Osteen became a multi-millionaire because he applied his gifts and wrote books that sold millions of copies because millions of people said, this is solving my problem. That's how Joel Osteen became super duper wealthy. Not from the church, not from people going and giving Joel Osteen, you all got to give me and make me wealthy. That's not how he became wealthy. He didn't ask the church to give him money. They probably paid him a little something as a salary or whatever, as a church salary for a pastor. That wasn't what he was living on, and that wasn't what was making him uber rich. You want to be uber rich? It's just like one of my wealth mentors told me. You want to be a billionaire? Help a billion people. There is one way to become super, uber, duper prosperous. Help people. That's how you do it. Now, let's put another piece, can we do a mastery level? Because masters know that things are multidimensional. Masters know that things are not as they seem on the surface. Masters know that there are many ways of looking at a thing. And masters, by all means, reflect and contemplate on things and ask higher intelligences questions, right? All these things masters do. And that is what I am seeking to be, a master, and to encourage and inspire many people to be masters of this universe. Here's a mastery point that I learned many years ago. People say, and it's true, there's many different kinds of giving. That's true. I can give my time. That's true. Volunteer at the church. Yes, that's true. However, let me not say however, and you are receiving in kind to what you gave. So do not think that you're going to give time and get back money. Doesn't work like that. I had to find out the hard way. I promise you, family, if you just listen to people that have already done these things, like Catherine Ponder and all these people, and Edwin Gaines and John Randolph Price, who already discovered these things, they'll tell you all these secrets, so you won't have to prove it for yourself. But now, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to listen to what other people say and gather I don't feel like I have to do everything, experience everything. I can garner wisdom from Great Mother. I can garner wisdom from Rainbow. I can garner wisdom from Harmony. I can garner wisdom from everyone here. Then I won't have to go out and learn all the lessons myself, right? Here's what I learned from all of them. And then I had to learn this one myself because I didn't believe it. I believed that if I just kept giving and kept giving and kept giving, that I would get the prize. Nope. Now, here's how I learned it. It was a very painful lesson. I learned it with regard to love. I was in a relationship with a person who was not capable. They didn't have the capacity in their current consciousness, not that they didn't have the potential. Their current space or their current ability or capacity to do this thing is not there. And guess what I said in my big, lovely head? I'm just going to love more. I'm just going to pour more love on it and more love. You're throwing love into a black hole, boo. You're giving something, you're not going to get what you think you're supposed to get from your giving, right? So your giving must be completely unconditional. You're giving love because you want to give love. You're not giving love because you want to get this person, you want to get this relationship to where you want it to be. Because you could be doing that with a person that doesn't have any capacity to do anything that you want them to do. And why do you want them to do it in the first place? Because you think you're missing something. Throw all that in the trash. If you want money, if you would like more money, here's an example in nature. Do you plant rose seeds and get a tangerine? I'm looking at a beautiful fruit tree outside my house right now here in Mexico. They have lemon trees all over. They have, the grapefruit, the avocado trees. If you want an avocado tree, do you plant plum seeds or do you plant avocado seeds? Everything you give is a seed. You give hate, seeds of hate, you're sowing in your land. That is your consciousness. If you want tomatoes, you plant tomato seeds. If you want money, you plant they need or that help people in some way to have what they want or what they're looking for. You solve some kind of problem, make something better, create something, creation. You create something that helps people, that people want, they buy it from you. And the better it is, the more they buy, and you have more money, you have more money, you have more money. And the important thing is that you have the right consciousness that you can keep the money and you can be a great steward of the money. So don't think you're going to get money any other way. That's how it comes. It comes as an energy exchange from you planting seeds of money in your own consciousness. And it comes from helping people, serving people, providing for people, creating something, producing something that people want, that they see value in, and they buy it, and you have money. It's very simple. Nothing complicated about money whatsoever. Sharon, one of our wealthy family members, she already figured this out.
Oh, God morning to you, Kaisi. I've been sitting back in the bushes, watering my plant, and my plant is overflowing. My sponge is full. I've just been absorbing all of this wonderfulness from everyone every morning. It has just been delicious every morning. Shares and Kaisi. Oh my God, your giving is phenomenal. I pray for that level of giving, that level of being able to have the discipline to come on every morning at 7 a.m. and look good, looking good. So that means your day started before 7 and my alarm went off at 7 and I'm still in the bed and you are up delivering and giving to us what's in you. And that, in my opinion, is true giving. That's where blessings flow from. That giving that's not an intentional return. I came on today because it's like I just want to wring out the towel. It's just every day I'm just absorbing something more. And I said, oh, should I raise my hand and wring that out? No. Just let it, just fill your cup. And my cup is overflowing from you and from all of you that have been brave enough to come on the stage and share your sensitive things that are going on in your lives. Those things that, we probably don't want to maybe not share because it doesn't make us look good because, they may be some, not so wonderful things. And then those wonderful things, that do make us look good. But I have just learned so much from everyone. And I thank you all for being there and sharing that, because your shares do help me. So I have a share that I wanted to give this morning that maybe someone else can resonate with. And that is in my giving. I just feel that I have been a giver all of my life and didn't understand that authentic giving, like Kaisi does every morning. You know, not giving because I want something in return. Oh, I'm not going to give 10% because, I know the Lord is going to give me 10% back. Or he's going to give me something back if I do X, Y, Z. No, I don't, that is not even in my conscious. You know, I'm giving this because I want to. I mean, it's free and it's in my heart, and I have no ulterior motives at all in anything that I do. It's because I'm just a loving, giving person. And I've always beat myself up for that. You know, like, you're just so stupid. You know, you just let people take advantage of you, and you're just too nice, or you're just whatever. You know, but then I turn around and I say, look at where the Lord has blessed me. Look how he has blessed me in my everyday walk, just my life. My life and my lifestyle is probably not what anyone expected of me. So I can only contribute whatever is given to me, or whatever situation that I am in can only be based on what I have done in my past. So with that, I had a situation where I gave a family member a car, because they needed a car. They didn't have a car. They, had some DUIs, and, they needed transportation. And, I gave it to them, hey, I have this extra car. You can drive it, just pay the insurance, okay, cool. They pay the insurance, and then for a couple of years, maybe a year. And then I got into a situation where I may have needed some support, and they weren't there, and I harbored, over like, wow, you can't even find the time to get in that car to come and see about me, and so, you let that go and you move on, and then another situation come up and you feel like, oh, I need you. Could you come and help me do X, Y, Z? Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not gonna, and I just got so angry with them, because I'm like, I do everything I can to help you. But then when it comes back and I need some support, you can't support me? And I was this all happened last night. That's why it's so heavy on my heart. And I got up this morning and I heard this, today's lesson, and how Kaisi so eloquently explains that lesson, these lessons every morning, interpret them, dissect them, flip them over, put the pancakes on the plate,
Yes.
And I said, wow, my giving has nothing to do with how someone receives it. My giving is Harmony and her gifts. She wants them to receive them a certain kind of way. Our gifts have nothing to do with the receiving, how someone else receives them.
Yes.
It only has to do with how I gave it.
Yes. Yes.
It only has to do with how I gave it. And how I gave it, I gave her that car in love.
Woo!
I gave it to her in love. I was not expecting anything when I gave it to her. It was not a ulterior motive. Okay, if I give you this, then when I need your help, you give me something.
Come on.
That wasn't how I gave it to her.
Preach.
But then it seemed to turn around to where I thought, like, how could you be that way with me after I have been so generous with you? So
Yes.
I don't want to ramble on. But I just want to say that our giving is not about any receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that we give, and Kaisi just elated on what the point I was going to make was the giving does not have to be material.
Mm-hmm.
The giving can be in a word. It could be in a kind word to someone. You don't know what, I read something that said you don't know how your smile affected someone's day.
Mm-hmm.
So our giving is pure. It's the white sheet. It's the there's nothing there. It's clear. It's the light. And when we give in light, we receive the light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm complete.
Woo! I'm over here having church as you're speaking, Pastor. That's one of my nicknames for Sharon is Pastor, because she has that pastor power. Oh, I'm over here having church, Sharon. That how many people did I help? And when I went to them to try to get some help, they couldn't help me. They couldn't. They could not. That's because I was giving to people. Well, I did have happiness in giving, and I also was kind of paying up an insurance policy that, I'll give you. It's kind of an unspoken that when I need some help, you're going to come around. They couldn't come around because, once again, they didn't have the capacity. I was giving to people. It was not equitable, which means it had to be codependent. Equals meeting is not dysfunctional. If you have anything other than equals meeting and everyone's equal, I'm not talking about equal that everyone's God. Yeah, everyone's equal. I'm talking about where they're holding it in consciousness. Where are they holding it in consciousness? Are they still in lack, limitation, and I'm in abundance? And I want to give it to you. We're not equal. We're not equally yoked. Yes, remember how the Bible says this has this little saying in there. These are all like wisdom epithets. You don't yoke like a bull with like a calf because it's a bull. And then you have this little calf. Like this is not a good match. And the Bible calls it unevenly yoked. There's nothing wrong with the bull. There's nothing wrong with the calf. They're both doing what they're supposed to do. You don't put a bull and a squirrel together. A squirrel is perfect for other squirrels and a bull is perfect for other bulls. They're not supposed to be yoked together. So I was yoked with a bunch of people that could not reciprocate what I was giving. Why? Because in my mind, I was too afraid to hang out with people who were my equals. That's just the bottom line of it. Because of what it would require of me and how I would have to show up. And I didn't want to do that. So it was just easy for me to hang out with people that are just kind of down here because they ain't requiring nothing of me, but they're going to ask me for everything instead of me. And that's what I was doing in relationships as well. That's why I don't get myself into entanglements now. I just don't. Because I come to relationships as equals. We're going to be on equal footing. And that's just how I conduct my relationships. Because if it's not equal, it's dysfunctional and it will rapidly disintegrate into codependency, which is going to be an unconscious entanglement. Get the book, Conscious Loving. Is my relationship Bible, Conscious Loving, by Gay and Kathleen Hendricks. Get that book. I'm going to pull it up online as well right now. Sharon, Sharon, you were telling my story.
Well, when Sharon, yes, my story as well. I used to think of giving as like a bank account. So when people would come to me and ask me for things, I'll be like, you're always making these withdrawals and you're not making deposits. Like that was my attitude. So I was always trying to make deposits so that if I ever needed anything, but I'm a two, so even if I needed it, I probably wouldn't ask. So that if I ever needed anything, I could go to that person. And then when I was always sad and depressed when it didn't happen that way, someone told me love is never lost. And when I tell you that sentence changed my life, she said, love is never lost. You may not get the love in the same way that you gave it out to that person. So that love may not come back to you in the same way that you gave it from that particular person, but love is never lost. It will come back to you in some shape, form, or fashion from another relationship, from another opportunity, from another adventure. Love is never lost. It's like that energy that keeps on giving. And then when it comes back to you, it'll come back in such abundance that you can't even measure it. And I have seen that in my life so many times. I gave someone a car, Sharon. So when you said that, I was like, damn, she's talking about me. Gave them a car and they spit in my face as many times as they could. And so that relationship left me, I mean, I never told this story, but I was in the nut house over that relationship because I felt like, how could you do that to me? And when I heard Maxandra de Rosier told me love is never lost, just like money is never lost. You can give out that money to a certain person and you may not ever get that money back from that person, but God, universe, source sees your giving. He knows your heart. So that money that you gave to that person that you never saw again, you thought from that person, yet, oh, look, this miracle happened and I got $10,000 deposited from whatever. That was just the universe giving back to you in abundance over the money that you thought was lost. So now that I live my life from the aspect of love is never lost, I never feel the way I felt when I did give my friend that car and she spit in my face. So for me, I lead with love is never lost. And I probably, since that particular day, and it's been about 15 years since that occurred, but since that particular day, all of what has been given to me has been so much more than that car. And she needed it at the time. She really did need it at the time. And I felt like I would help her and all of that. Love is never lost. I'm complete.
Ding, 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 ding. I pulled up online on the YouTube channel, Conscious Loving by Gay and Kathleen Hendricks. Now, they are like I told you, they wrote the Conscious Living Bible for me because they created the relationship of their dreams, like they say, through one conscious choice after the other. And if you look at them, they have been together forever and they're super happy. They're like, we don't know, on their website, they say, we don't know the meaning of life, but we're very sure it's not to have a bad time. Make your relationships consciously loving. That means you don't give to need. I learned that a long time ago. Don't give to need. If somebody needs something, I definitely can't help you. I cannot help you. Because if you think you need something, I can't help you. Now, I can support you in changing your mind about thinking you need something. If you need something, I certainly cannot give you what you think you need. And if you think you need money, that's the last thing I'm going to give you. I don't care if there is a pile of cash right here and a huge Bitcoin stash on this Trezor wallet right here. I will not put one penny in the black hole of need, not even one penny. I had to learn it. People will call you cruel. Call me what you like. Doesn't really matter. Don't give to need. Don't give to need. And then you might say, well, Val, Kaisi, how are you going to help the people in the world? This is how I do it. Now you can do it however you like. This is how I do it. I give money to people who have money, who are helping people in need. So I give to, let's say, an organization, people who have money, who are proving, not just these ratty organizations that are just taking money, places like Mama Karima said, Mama Jamila said, I give money to people who have money. I only give money to people that have money. I don't give money to people that don't have money. That should be automatic and common sense, because I'm a 7, Enneagram 7, and I'm in the head triad. Logic and common sense is important to us. That should be common sense. People who don't have it for a reason. And that reason is in their mind. Please don't believe a random lady on YouTube. Go try it out for yourself. Prove it to yourself. Who's next? This is delicious. Arlene, you next?
Yes. All right. So I'm just wondering if this would be an appropriate place for this particular conversation, but I am doing I guess you could say a contest or a giveaway of Goddess Lakshmi. And I was wondering, can I provide that information here, or should I talk to you a little bit later?
Ooh. This is a really good question. You know why? Because Harmony knows how I feel about Goddess Lakshmi. Okay, tell us.
And I started laughing to myself. I'm like, Lakshmi. You should remember at the Christian Witches Convention, we talked about Lakshmi and her twin Saraswati.
Tell us more about what you're doing with Goddess Lakshmi. Tell us more.
Okay, so I was in meditation, and Goddess Lakshmi is like one of the goddesses that's on my altar, and she made a request of me to get a statue of her, and to make it as a part of a giveaway. A giveaway in the sense that, I create a contest and she chooses, through, whomever wins the contest to be given to somebody. But if you have feelings about her, I'll totally cancel that out.
I like the way you said that, Arlene, but wait a minute. If there's something that sounds exactly like something Lakshmi would say. You got her nailed perfectly. That's exactly what she would say. And I would not do it at all. I would not do it. I would be, thank you, Lakshmi. No.
Okay.
And,
all righty.
And
all
why,
right.
family? Because there's a very important reason why we don't want to just say things randomly, right? Why, Harmony? Anyone from the Christian Witches Convention would like to share?
Let me tell you. So I was like, ooh, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. I should put up a whole monument for Lakshmi. So I start Googling and I get on Amazon and I order a Lakshmi curtain, which I still have hanging up in my prayer meditation room. So Lakshmi, she's all big and beautiful. I'm like, she's protecting my house. She's inviting all this money to come in. And it was maybe like 6 years ago now, when Reverend Love was talking about Lakshmi and Saraswati. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and Saraswati is the goddess of wisdom. So Lakshmi, being the goddess of wealth, people think that we should be, I don't want to say worship, but that's the word that's coming. Worshiping Lakshmi, when actually when you chase anything, what does it do? It runs, especially money. So while people are chasing money, you can never catch it. So when we're putting all of our focus on Lakshmi, she's just like, oh yes, I am beautiful, look at me, but she's running away. You'll never catch her. However, if you look to Saraswati, her twin sister, who is the goddess of wisdom, then that will unlock the wealth. So I was like, damn, I got this curtain up. It was so funny. And I also had ordered a Lakshmi statue. The Lakshmi statue is probably like the size of my hand, and the curtain is huge. It covers my whole window. And then so when I looked at the difference between Saraswati and Lakshmi is sitting like kind of in a pond, and she's surrounded by coins, gold, money. Saraswati is she is sitting on like a lotus, and she's surrounded by like swans and things that represent wisdom. So when I looked up, that's how the universe that's not what I thought I wanted, but the universe had set it up so that I actually was sent the curtain for Saraswati. So Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, was huge, where Lakshmi was really, really small. And they're kind of looking at each other. I thought it was the same one. Since they're twins, they have like the same face. But the universe set it up so that the goddess of wisdom was huge and the goddess of wealth was really tiny, looking at this huge goddess of wisdom. So that's my Lakshmi Saraswati story, and I love to tell it. It's been like 5 or 6 years since I had set it up that way, but I left it there. And even with Pat, like that, the prayer meditation room, sadly, is almost empty. But Saraswati and Lakshmi are still hanging out in there right now, and everything else, like all the furniture, pretty much all the furniture has been removed. So that's my story of the twins.
And let's go deeper with it, because I love that you all are such spiritual badasses, that you all are just in this conversation at such a high level. Let's go deeper with it. So there's two goddesses that live in every heart: the goddess of wisdom, Saraswati, the goddess of money, wealth, Lakshmi. These two goddesses, they live in every heart. So the key, when you have these two goddesses living in your heart, here's how to interact with them. If you give your attention to the goddess Lakshmi, because both of them want your attention. What do goddesses want? Goddesses want attention, of course. Devotees, you're supposed to devote yourself to the goddess, right? So if you devote yourself to Lakshmi, you will never catch her, because goddesses do not allow themselves to be captured by their devotees. I work for the goddess. This is how it works. A witch is an emissary for the goddess. The goddess does not allow herself to be caught by anyone. You can't capture a goddess. So this goddess is going to run through the woods, leaving little trinkets of gold in her path to try to keep you racing after her to capture her. You will never capture her. And what happens to all people who run after money? They ultimately fail in some area of their life. They ultimately fail. Now, the goddess Saraswati, on the other hand, she's sitting on her lotus pond, her lotus flower on the pond, and she's giving you wisdom, and she's giving you inspiration and access to the mysteries and higher consciousness ways of being. And she would like devotees as well. She doesn't get a lot of devotees because people would rather have money than have wisdom, which is really reverse of what the universe designed. So when you give your attention to goddess Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, Lakshmi, her sister, will be so jealous that she'll just throw gold at you. The key is never turn your attention away from wisdom to become a devotee of Lakshmi. Never. Keep before the goddess of wisdom, and the gold will shower you continuously. Is this sounding crazy? What are y'all hearing?
This is Dia. I have to chime in. I have to. Because you know how I felt about it from the convention. And I have, for the last decade, been studying the Hindu teachings on the goddesses. And they believe in the trinity of goddesses, not just the two. The third one being the goddess Parvati, also called goddess Durga, which it represents power. And so me, I have been, up until we had the Christian Witches Convention, I have been focusing all of my attention on the goddess Lakshmi and the goddess Durga for money and power. And the children and, college students and, people in business, because it's all about education. Now, mind you, behind the scenes, I'm steadily taking courses and gaining knowledge, like I mentioned earlier, and not taking action. So since we left the convention, I sat with that thought, and I changed all of my Goddess Lakshmi icons to Goddess Saraswati. And the funny thing that has happened so far was I posted the pictures from this course I took from another witch that I know called Madame Pamita, and she's Ukrainian, and she's teaching a class about the vinyoki, which is the headbands that they make out of flowers. And I posted the pictures of my hands-on experience, and the flowers that I went to buy before the class. When I walked in the store, I said, I have no idea what I'm looking for, but those yellow flowers said, we are the ones. And so in my studying more of Goddess Saraswati on the day before yesterday, I found out that yellow is her favorite color. So I was like, okay,
Come
I'm
on,
on the right
come
page.
through,
I'm
Goddess.
tracking, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to transpire, because I have already, in the last few days since we left the convention, been taking more action with the knowledge that I have, rather than sitting around saying what I can't do and what I don't have. And I'm complete.
By the way, your Vinoki, is that what you call it? Am I saying that right?
Yes, I think if I remember correctly, the singular is Vinok and the plural is Vinoki.
When I saw that witch, I said, ooh, she's nothing but the truth. And she had on a magnificent one on her head, this flower crown. And it took me back to, it took me to the moment when we created the flower crowns and we had them in our we did sort of like this beauty contest of flower crowns. And you can see it if you scroll down the Instagram, it was incredible. So you're starting to see that when you withdraw your attention from Lakshmi, sorry to say Shakti, when you draw your attention from Lakshmi and you put it on Saraswati, the wisdom, the gaining of knowledge, understanding, consciousness that already have begun to change, and the goddess has already accepted you as a devotee.
And another funny thing, I was thinking, I have a friend that I've known her for a decade now because of the language I had been studying. Is her mother tongue, called Telugu. And she plays the veena. And whenever I go to her home, we always go through the evening prayers, and they call it the arti, which is giving thanks to all of the gods and goddesses at the end of the evening. And I said, oh my goodness, Goddess Saraswati has been my friend, but she always, she stays away from me. She's there for me when I reach out to her, but if I don't reach out to her, she doesn't, ride me or come after me or anything. And I was so focused, we both are under Dr. Pillai's teaching, so I was really trying to get into doing the Brazil meditations consistently. And so I admit that was why I was basically focusing on Lakshmi more. But at the same time, I kept in the back of my mind thinking, I need to contact my friend. I feel like I've been forsaking my friend. And when I found this, I went online searching for a picture of Goddess Saraswati that really spoke to me, so that I could put it as the background on my computer in replace of my Lakshmi. And this one really came out to me, and I kept saying, it's so familiar to me. And I realized the other day it's because she favors my friend. And I was like, my friend has been Saraswati for all this time, and I didn't realize it.
So let's circle back to Arlene. What are you hearing? What is your how's it landing for you? What's happening for you?
The thing is that because she made the request, I'm going to move forward with it in terms of the contest. But yeah, I totally get the message about the acquirement of wisdom instead of the focus of money is what I'm really getting, and it sort of reminds me of we're moving from the Hindu over to the Greek, where Paris gets the opportunity to choose, which goddess is the most beautiful goddess, and he opts to go for Aphrodite as opposed to Athena and I think think Hera was a part of that, of his choosing. And of course, we all know what ends up happening after he chooses Aphrodite, as opposed to, and when I thought about that, I was like, well, I don't know, if I was in his position, I probably would have chosen wisdom as opposed to beauty. Not knocking Aphrodite or anything. It's just, when you have wisdom, all of the other things sort of flow to you.
Yes.
So that's what I'm getting.
And we have many stories that tell us this exact same thing. So 2 other stories. One is Solomon, where supposedly the story goes that God asked Solomon to pick of 3 things. 1, you could have all the money you want. All the money you want. 2, you could have the backs of your enemies. Your foot could be on the necks of your enemies. That means no one can ever rise up against you. You'll win over all your enemies. You'll take everybody out. You will always come out on top. You'll be the winner. You'll be the big dog. Appealing to the pride, all the money in the world appealing to the greed. By the way, they do call these the 7 deadly sins for a reason. I'm not into sins. We're not into sins. That's just what they call them, because these are just traps that we could fall into. Or the 3rd, wisdom. He chose wisdom. And guess what the Quran, and maybe Jamila can help us with this. We don't even know what wisdom is, because we think wisdom is, you're like a wise old man. You're like Obi-Wan Kenobi now, the secrets of the universe. Okay, great. That's great. To be Obi-Wan Kenobi, or like Gandalf, the wizard, that's kind of what comes to our minds when we think wisdom, or some other archetype might come to our mind. Here's what happened when he got wisdom. He knew everything. He could talk to parrots. He could talk to whales. He could talk to trees. He could talk to oranges. He knew everything. What? That's wisdom. Like an instantaneous download. Most people's nervous system would just be fried to even have that kind of information. And it downloaded all the universal knowledge. He knew astronomy, magic, alchemy, science, all those things before they were invented. And I'm going to say something quite shocking. Solomon, the actual Solomon, as we know him from the Bible, no evidence whatsoever that the man ever existed. You can't find the temple anywhere in Jerusalem. What you can find is the exact same description of a pharaoh named Amenhotep III, who did everything Solomon was purportedly doing. So this person did exist, but maybe just not where you're looking. He knew everything. The Quran talks about Solomon, and the Holy Bible talks about Solomon. He knew everything, and he knew magic, and he knew how to talk to demons. He knew everything. And then he still got the money. He still got the money. He still got the money. Now, Christ says, the richest man ever lived. And there was just gold. There's gold coming out the ground where he was. Just gold. Just more gold than you could ever use. Now, Christ said the same thing. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, the heavenly consciousness, and all these other things will be added unto you on the lower realms, including money. You'll never have to concern yourself with money. Jesus never did. No master ever concerned themselves with money because they had it, because they went for the real thing. Don't go for the money. Go for the wisdom, the knowledge of God, the all-knowing, the consciousness of God, and then you'll have money. You'll have everything. It's the Course calls it your goals. What are your goals? So Arlene, you're on dangerous ground. I just have to say it because I don't want anyone. And I knew you were on dangerous ground when you said, I'm going to do it because she asked. I don't do what gods and goddesses ask just because they asked it. They can make a request of me all day long. No, I'm not doing that. Or okay, I'll do it.
I just laughed. I was like, I don't want to win that contest. She about to make somebody broke.
I'm not doing it. No.
I don't want to win. I love you, Arlene. I love you to life.
I do. It's because we love you that we're saying this. That's why we're saying it. Because we love you. Because love will say, oh, be careful. Not love would just be like, well, do whatever you want. No, that's not. Of course, we can never tell anyone what to do. Everyone does what they are led to do. And if that's what you're led to do, I wholly respect it. I wholly respect it, and I wholly will pray for nothing but the highest and best. I wouldn't do it, wouldn't touch it at all. Never. Anyone else, or are we complete? Is there more? Well, we hashed this out good today, didn't we?
Well, I'll end it with a funny little story. This is how bad of a receiver I used to be in the past. Back when we were doing the Millionaires Club, and I was one of the teachers on Monday nights, Tania would always cash at me afterwards, and I would be like, what is this all about? So I just simply asked her one day, Tania, are you trying to get my cookies and goodies? Like, what is this about? She laughed so hard. She was like, no, you just feed into me. So that was my tithe, and that was my gift. So I just wanted to end that with that funny story, because at the time, since we both are like, ooh, let's wave our flag, our pride flag. To me, when she was sending the cash apps, I was thinking, oh, look, she thinks of me as a teacher, and she is tithing into me. I was like, oh, she's trying to get my cookies and goodies. So that was just a funny story that I remember from our back in the day.
Wait a minute. You thought it was a yoni bribe? She's trying to get my yoni. Okay.
I just wanted to make y'all laugh before we conclude.
Oh my God. If people give me something, I'm like, thank you. I receive it. I'm not thinking anything. They're probably not going to get anything just because they gave me something. I'm just saying thank you.
Well, that is how it is supposed to work. And that is how it works for me now. God. But I mean, that was how many years ago? Maybe 2016. So back then it was like, oh, I was messed up in my receiving. And whenever I received something, I automatically felt guilty for receiving of the gift. And in that guilt, I always felt like I needed to either, if I took whatever the thing was, I felt as if I needed to give back, but more in a way. So whether that be of my time, my body, my gifts, whatever it was. So I had, I guess, shame. I'll go ahead and say that word. I had shame around receiving. Mm-hmm. But anywho, the Galactic Signature.
Can I ask another quick question? Mm-hmm. Zaire, can I ask you, were you trying to get Harmony's goodies from giving all those wonderful cash outs? Or are you just giving them?
It was sincerely giving. It was sincerely given. If I could have did it anonymously, I would have did it that way.
Zaire is a huge giver. She's always cash apping me. She is a huge giver. In addition to being an Ascension, she's a huge giver. I just have to shout her out publicly because she is a huge giver. So she wasn't after your cookies. Is. Yeah.
Well, I know that now. That's a funny story.
That is not a way that I'll try to get women, okay?
Look, Zaire don't have to give money to get women. Zaire be getting women just on her swag, period.
Agreed. Yes, our women are always fly.
Her women are so fly. It's not even funny. I keep telling Zaire, teach that to the dudes, because the dudes cannot pull women and beautiful women, spiritual women. I don't know where she's getting these women from. They're amazing. So
thank you.
Zaire's like, I ain't gotta bribe you to get you. I can get you. I like that.
Exactly.
I would have had you already.
What'd you say, Harmony?
I said, yeah, if I wanted you, I would have had you already.
That's
like,
right.
That was her, like, kind of like her energy. That wasn't what it was.
Now, mind you, she didn't say it because, you know, Zaire wouldn't have said, she wouldn't have said nothing like that. We got the tone, though. We totally got the tone that, no.
Yeah.
We got the message energetically. Don't worry.
All right. We are in Ken 21 today. Red Galactic Dragon.
Oh, pause for one quick moment. That's right. Pause for one quick moment. I so apologize. Rita on YouTube asked earlier, on YouTube, the stream froze for a second. And because it froze, we did not, the YouTubers, my love tubers, did not hear the message about the money. She had a specific question because it froze right while I was talking about. The video froze during your explanation of money and giving right after you gave analogy of planting a fruit to expect a rose. The Rita, the story of that, or the message of that, is that we give in the same kind that we desire to receive. So if you give time, you're going to receive more time. I'm not saying you won't receive more money, and I'm not saying the universe is, you know, parsing. We don't live in a parsing universe. It's not saying, well, you gave 10 hours of time, we're going to give you back 10 hours of time. I'm saying match, be a farmer, match your giving with what you desire. Plant your seeds that harmonize with what you desire to harvest. If you want to be a big giver and you want to experience riches, wealth, giving money is planting seeds of your future wealth. Every, you know, dollar, Satoshi, that's why I love giving money. I love giving money. I love it. Because giving money plants seeds for money trees. That was the message of that, Rita. Thank you for the reminder, because I did say I was going to answer that question and you reminded me before we went into the Galactic Signature, and that is the answer. So thank you, Rita, for that. Now we can conclude.
All right, today has been absolutely delicious.
Ooh, delicious.
I am so grateful for this whole conversation.
Yes.
So, like Rev always says, in order for you to have it, you got to give it away. So I hope people shared this room, because this room surely was powerful. If you didn't share the room, it's not too late to share it. Or even if you just take the notes that you took and share those notes with someone else. Ken 21, Red Galactic Dragon. I harmonize in order to nurture, modeling being. I seal the input of birth with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of life force. I harmonize in order to nurture, modeling being. I seal the input of birth with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of life force. I harmonize in order to nurture, modeling being. I seal the input of birth with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of life force. Red Galactic Dragon, Ken 21.
Blood Clan, who's in the house? Where's the Blood Clan? Where's all our Blood Clan? Anybody Blood Clan on the stage?
Blood Clan, Blood Clan.
Blood Clan, represent Blood Clan. Love you. Everybody, you know how we do every morning. Send some love all over the world. We love you. Love you, family. Have a beautiful day. Unmute and send some love. Love you.
Love you, everybody.